あ、次抜く投げ物わかんねえからむずいんだよな。好きだけど。
The guy that I watch for, but in a way, I'm happy for it. I hope we get all 3 maps here now. I really, really want to see Mongols come back because Hypex is a really fun player. Again, like now we've been talking up Jacob, and you guys have seen him, you know, first-hand experience. Let's get Hypex online because he's also a really, really fun player and pretty talented. So hopefully we get to see more stuff. But I mean, more than anything, we need the Mongols to really come online here. And like I said, they have not been playing a lot of Nuke in the last 3 months. So that's just interesting to think about. This is not a well-drilled map for them, but no more talk. We're into the action. It's going to be Apogee starting on the T side, the Mongols on that CT side. To begin with, they don't have any real utilities, so no smokes, no kits, no nothing. They're looking to win right off the bat with just getting the kills and not much else. And look at this 2-man drop making their way towards heaven and hell, and they're just not going to be slowing down. They might even catch him. I don't even think he had the gun out. I think he was just running with a knife there. It's 9-10 now being absolutely butchered here. Oh, but the backup is there. Sensu to save his teammate. Otherwise, I think he might have got shot through the grating there, and it's going to be down to 2 versus 4. The bomb is down here with them, but they are locked in at the moment.
They have taken down Blitz, though. And now from the double doors, they can start to rummage their way around into the vents. Now, because how rapid the opener of this round was, there's still over a minute left on the clock. And the Mongols, they've been rotating so many times, they'll be dizzy. But Demo is going to put Techno out of his misery. Bullet to the dome. 2v2 from a 2v4. Both players healthy. And although 9-10 has made a move down on the B side, because there's still so much time left, he can't assume anything. The Mongols are still so clueless as to where Apogee currently reside with that bomb.
Well, like you said, the fact that there's so much time left means that they are going to be a little bit worried. Not a good position for Techno to take that fight, because his shadow was showing, which is why it was so easy to get that Glock kill. I do like this one. 9-10, but he's still going down. A 2 versus 4. Now, the other way into a 1 versus 2. It's Senzu having to try and save the day for his team. He's going to open the door, and that reveals his position. Hypex, just wait for your teammates. He's on the other side. Wide swing, and Hypex will take him down. Senzu could not clutch it, and a huge return for Apogee. They should have not been winning this round. They should have been losing very early on. You could even see the coach in the background. Oh, the faces tell it all, Vince. It's horrible.
Man, this 3-kill streak that the Mongols went on, shutting down outside, should have just been the round over. It was a 2v4, all 4 players from Mongols are healthy, and they just get divided and surgically removed from Apogee. That is not something you often see from the Mongols. They're typically a team that will hoard you when they have the player advantage. They don't let those advantages slip very often. That is absurd that they've lost that round, and now they have to deal with a straight-up Hack-10 rush, and Haffa spraying down 2 players by himself. Well, this round's already done.
Great flashbangs, the speed behind those Mac-10s, and it's abusing the same kind of logic that they really were on Ancient. They knew on Ancient that the Mongols on the CT side weren't going to have a lot of utility. They went for some really fast plays, because obviously one of the ways to stop a rush if you're on the CT side, logically, is to throw a lot of grenades early on, incendiaries and HEs to try and stop any kind of hot play if you're on Nuke. And they know that the Mongols aren't going to be able to have that in this kind of a second round, so they just run straight for it, no fear at all about any kind of stacks or anything. Very well done here. Wow, I'm kind of blown away.
Now, we were talking in the pre-game sort of segment before we kind of kicked off into this game about how Polish CS has been on a bit of a downturn. You know, it's a far cry from the days of the VP Classic days, the Virtus Plow.
Yeah.
Here we have Apogee, and they're really making a case for themselves. I don't want to get carried away and go too crazy, because obviously it's off the basis of just this one game, but man, they are making the Mongols look like a very, very ordinary team. This is the same team that was the first ever Asian team to reach the playoffs of a major not that long ago, and they are straight up being body bagged right now by Apogee.
I mean, they're such a well-respected team. There's no question about it. They're like 4th in the Valve ranking at the moment. Everybody knows what these guys are about. So shocking to see them, like you said, look very average, very human. Like normally part of the threat of playing these guys is the insane, time to kill that they have. It's so hard to turn the corner against some of these players on a regular day. The Polish team have made them look way worse than that. A bomb site under the control here of Apogee. I guess not too exciting for this round. I mean, not to expect anything really here. It's just a little investment into this round for the Mongols, hoping to do something. Gonna find a kill there, but I doubt they're gonna be able to save any of these rifles. Unfortunate team kill. Okay, maybe actually, at least a MAC-10. You don't want to be saving that really. I was hoping that they could find an AK somewhere, because that obviously would be the real fun part. Round is gonna be absolutely fine with the AKs, both Hypex and Jacob are there. So nothing is saved on the Mongol side, but they do a bit of damage, and maybe that's a starting point to have a bit of a conversation to get back into it mentally.
Yeah, at least gonna build the confidence just a little bit. But I mean, I'm no body language like expert, Anders, but every time it pans to the Mongols, they just look so dejected. We were talking before about how they were getting some wins, no one was celebrating. Yeah, it's a rough day at the office right now, isn't it? Like, you're against Apogee, you're probably thinking like, okay, boys, here we go. Let's get a pretty straightforward game. Let's get this win under our belt. And then you just run into this juggernaut of Apogee. Now, they've got the first pick in this round onto Prison. That's a pretty decent pick. But look at the aggression once again. Just ruthless, straight out into the site. And they've got themselves entries aplenty.
Oh, これでかい。
The smoke not quite going up. That is a bit of a miscommunication here, and it might be enough. Messino on the one side, 9, 10 would have been running.
おい、フェードのバタフライとかどんだけいくらすんだろう。
Man, that's a round.
バカだけんじゃねえの。
Pretty much the whole round right up until the last 5 seconds. Apogee is winning that round. It's only right at the end that it breaks down. And like you said, it's the sheer speed and aggression. If you're that mini player, you get that first kill and you think, okay, that's pretty good. But then the drop down is there and it just doesn't stop. They are so aggressive here, running through the incendiary as well. I love everything about this push, but unfortunately,
もうヌークとね、
get that smoke up in time.
まあ俺の個人的な感じだけども、ヌークとミラージュとエンシェントはほんと駆け引き。
It conditions the Mongols to think, well, hold on a second, are they going to rush again? It's always going to be in the back of their mind. This means they're going to have to expend more utility early in the round, smoking the door, molotoving hot as fast as they possibly can. Good frag from Techno, stands his ground with the MP9. But it's all about conditioning. This is still very early on in the half. And this is going to add up. How does he get Molotov there on the back of sight?
It must have been burning from earlier. There's no way, Vince. He must have been running into it from earlier. That's the only explanation. So they must have thrown that from the T roof like way earlier because there was no push coming in. I'm actually blown away. We're gonna have to see a replay of that. He must have just strafed back in, not realizing somehow. That's a crazy way to die. And now Jacob is ready to capitalize as well. Takes down 9-10. If they lose the round on the back of this, one, they're going to lose the economy. But also, what a shocking way to potentially lose a bit of an advantage there. 40 seconds. Messino and the Blitz. It's a nice drop down, but it does make a bit of noise. I don't know if anyone could have been nearby hearing it, but 30 seconds. And they're going to make their minds up to go for the B bomb side instead. And from our point of view, it looks like that's a really good choice.
Yeah, they lose the economy, they lose their AKs, they lose their confidence, the momentum, everything. A 4-1 potential lead hanging by a thread. Blitz needs to go huge, and he does just that. And it's clean. 2 clean, crisp kills. And although the bomb plant will be forthcoming, Mazzino's position now could be that nut spot that he can just shut it down and lay it bare. That's all on Blitz, though. Those 2 kills he picks up are worth the round. But the Mongols, again, they get a round win against odds after having a pretty solid advantage. When Techno gets the shutdown onto Prison through the smoke with the MP9, you think, okay, this is where everything just kind of falls into place. Then the Molotov kill comes in. Then we see this crazy entry from Jacob on 9-10, just a wide swing, one tap with the AK, and everything comes crumbling down.
I mean, this is not boring Counter-Strike to begin with, ladies and gentlemen. At least we're being treated as something really wild here. Timeout being called now for Apogee. I think it's probably a good idea to take a deep breath here. You've put on a lot of pressure, but also you've ended up expending a lot of money. I guess you're also keeping the Mongols' economy quite low on the other side of things. So a lot is being accomplished, but it's a big conversation. How much more pressure do you want? Like, do you want to make this another Tech 9 kind of round and try and keep it up? I'm so curious if we're going to see this. So Techno, he gets this kill. And yeah, so the Molotov's already there, and he's jumping to dodge the bullets from the wallbang because he was being wallbanged from HUD. So I'm assuming he's trying to dodge that, and he's just flying right into the fire.
この壁からどれだけエイム離すかって最近大事になってきたわ。最近もう俺は反射神経が遅くなったから。壁からエイムが離れてるわ。
They'll know roughly how long that Molotov lasts for, and they'll feel confident enough to back away. They obviously want to keep their eyes onto where the danger is coming from. So that's very unfortunate for Techno. Literally, the second he died, the Molotov disappears. Very, very unlucky.
Very fast HEs to blow open the smoke out there, sort of almost on top of each other.
ハイペックスか、AGL か。
But you know what? Apogee actually got quite far in this one. Oh, Demo, I'd love to see him refight that. If he gets Sensu, they're probably going to get the bomb planted. But now backup is going to be there. Sensu, that's not what you want to see. Caught jumping up. Nice shot from 910, but still does pave the way for a potential bomb plant. I don't think anyone's nearby to be able to stop it.
真っ黒なアウプ欲しくなってきた。
Still favorites to win this round. You look at the weapons on the other side, but you've got to coordinate that. I don't know why 910 is running in on his own like that. I couldn't actually explain it to you, Vince.
Do we have a doctor in the house? Because we need the Heimlich maneuver like applied right now. Like this is kind of crazy. Some of these rounds they're losing and getting close.
さあ、あと一人。
However, here we go. This is where the Mongols' skill is shine bright. How though? Oh my god! 2 1-taps with a Tech 9. You see? Third as well. Apogee steal this round away.
What the fuck?
Too late out of nowhere.
Yeah, you wanted a doctor, but
What?
this is the kind
それテック9の打ち方じゃねえよ。それニコマルのやり方よ。
Put him down instead. Give him that lethal injection. I actually I don't know what's happening. 910. Why on earth is he running into? But then you could say, well, he's all good, you know. Even that was a bit of a mistake, but the rest of the team brought it back, and it's a 1 versus 3 versus a Tech 9. And then he just straight ups and deletes them, just removes them, snaps them out of existence. I'm shocked.
Like if you're the Mongols, like what can you even say? Like, unlucky lads, we completely shot the bed again for like the 4th time in a row. That's crazy. They even got 3 kills back to back to get themselves back in, and then halfway with the Tech 9, just tap tap, over, done.
Yeah, it's even on the replay. What do you say? Hey, guys, at least we found rock bottom. You know, we can build from here.
The only way's up, boys. It doesn't get any worse than this. I guess you could say, at least we're not Falcons, right? Yeah.
True. Yes, that's exactly right. At least,
Wow.
at least we didn't spend, you know, $350,000 a month on this. I am just making up numbers, but it does make me laugh, okay? It's for my own benefit. Prism trying to get the jump down here. I love the idea for Blitz to try and jump up on that CT roof there. I think it's a bit underutilized. In fact, I'll go even crazier, Vince. I'm pretty sure that you can make a
T でこんだけ取られるのはきついな。
mini roof onto that CT roof on top of garage. I think you can do it and have it be like a competitive advantage. So I'm gonna try and convince people. Not that my success rate at convincing pros to do anything is really high, but I've got plans.
Okay, I see you. I mean, you're out there grinding with the grenade videos and stuff, Anders. I see you out there on YouTube and on Twitch.
Yeah, you know, it's my pastime, you know, where I spend an insane amount of time and absolutely nobody cares, but I still think it's fun, you know. Like I said, it's for my own sake, you know, it makes me happy, it makes me smile. I don't read books, Vince, you know. It's not my kind of thing. Yeah, I watch TikTok and throw grenades. That's what I do.
That's the kind of education I want.
Exactly. 8 rounds into it now, starting on the 8th round. And the Mongols are at least back with some rifles. This is not every rifle that you would want. Obviously missing the AWP and missing more, maybe significantly, a lot of the utility. But I do like this double setup down towards the hallways. Jacob on the other side, he's already been tagged up a little bit. MP9 maybe could have won the fight there, but the straight headshot's going to make that difficult. Lucinio, he'll get the 1, and he is swiftly told to back out.
They have the advantage, but we have seen this a few times before, and we know how that's ended up. They've got to get their hands around the neck of Apogee and put them down for good this time. They have every opportunity to do so. 910 extends the player advantage to a 2-on-4. Hypex also low. They do have time. They don't have control over the bomb just yet. So surely, I mean, we've been here before. I feel like I'm maybe jinxing this a little bit. But this has to be around the Mongols sweep aside and pick up with 4 players left. They've got to build that economy up, get their hands on some of these AKs, but Hypex, he takes down 9-10 and gives himself a chance.
Yeah, he's no joke, is he? Bomb is kind of in an awkward position here, so I think in terms of winning the round, it really, I agree, it should never be happening, but just doing a little bit more damage. I think Apogee maybe got suckered a little bit into this round where they, they end up just standing outside and doing a lot of aim fights, and maybe normally I'd want to criticize that, but the problem is Apogee have been winning so many aim battles against the Mongols that they probably do feel like it's doable. Oh my god. They managed to just walk almost right past each other. Hypex, he's going to fake it once, trying to buy himself maybe one more kill if he could, but now he has to go for it. He can't delay any further. Techno trying to climb up through the fire. Got to be careful here. Again, low health. I think he faked the audio of running into Hut just to hope that they weren't going to be showing up. He knows that they're there. It's one more headshot down to the 1 versus 1.
嘘.
Techno! It's unbelievable!
It's a really good clutch, and it's so well played, but there's 2 sides to every story, right? Like, I think the coach's expression says everything for the Mongols. Like, how have we let this happen again? They've lost a 2v4. They've lost, like, a 2v3. That's a 1v3. Oh.
Listen, forget the doctor. Just send the coroner already. Like, it's too late.
Oh. They're getting away with murder as well, Anders. You might as well send a detective as well while you're at it, because, like, Apogee, they're getting away with so much. This is ridiculous.
There's no way any of this stuff should be happening. This is the kind of stuff where you've got to be really concerned, right? Because on some fundamental level, right? Never mind the caliber of players or the individual aim or anything else. I mean, for Hypex, it's absolutely sick. And, I did say, he's a better player than he showed even on Ancient. And I guess that, it's a good display of that in this round. But none of that really matters. This is not about Hypex in a sense. I mean, it is from his own point of view. But Mongols, they should never, ever be losing a round like this. In modern Counter-Strike, it doesn't really happen much anymore because everybody knows how to play very disciplined. You understand what it means. You know that as long as you trade the kills, he's never going to be able to get even close to winning a round like this one. And they fail on every single level there. What a shocking situation. Hypex is 11-3, and Mongols are getting violated on this map.
I mean, Apogee are playing so well. It's easy to kind of like meme on the Mongols and everything, but take nothing away from Apogee. These guys are playing, honestly, some really good Counter-Strike. It's the fact that the Mongols, who are typically so on point with crossing their eyes, or dotting their eyes, I should say, and crossing their T's, maybe that's the problem they're struggling with right now. They've got it back to front. But they're normally so good at this kind of, seeing out rounds where they have the advantage, clawing their way back into the clutches. Blitz has spotted the head of Haffa, or the CZ. It's going to let him down. He does a lot of damage, but not the kill. And now that allows Haffa to go back in and pick up a second kill. That epitomizes the Mongols in a passage of play. Had the chance, miss out, lose 2 players as a result, and all of this is a ruse. It's all smoke and mirrors because Apogee are hitting the B site again.
Yeah, they're going to say, fine, if you want that AK, if you're going to be out there, who cares? We're going to get the round. Make it a 7-2 scoreline, and yeah, fine, they get the AK. It's not a lot to celebrate at the moment here. This is quite a surprise. We talked about it a little bit off camera in the break, Vince. So, I think both of us showed up to this game thinking probably, it's going to be a fairly quick 2-0, and then we'll, move into the next match, and we'll see what happens there. Like that could be more interesting, right? Like it's Phase and Pain coming up on the B stream, I believe. So, like that, maybe this first one just has to go, a bit predictable. That's not been the case at all. Scary stuff, to be honest. Apogee, though, like I said, hard grind to qualify for big tournaments right now. It just is. So when you get there, I think that's the upside. It can be hard all those days playing online Counter-Strike. Some of them you see, they're playing like 4 or 5 best of 3s in a day. It never really stops. There is no practice. All the practice is, online qualification and trying to get the VRS points scraped together. But it really does also just mean you're just battle hardened when you get there. Like nothing can shake you. So Apogee is pretty sick.
I think it's a really good way of putting it as well in terms of a narrative. It's like for Apogee, they don't know how many more opportunities like this they'll get.
Oh yeah.
Like the Mongols have been at tons of tier 1 events. They're constantly going to be invited because they're still a damn good team. But for Apogee, like you don't know when your next opportunity is going to be around the corner. So when you get these, you've got to make the most of them. there is no excuse for just showing up and being an extra number. Like, you've actually got to try and take over, and so you got to give them so much praise and really give them their due credit for how they've been playing so far. Now, they have lost Jacob early on. So for one of the first times that I can recollect, the Mongols have a player advantage to kick things off early doors on a CT side for Nuke. Can they grab control of this? That's going to be a big grenade. That's a lot of damage between 3 players.
Pushing up in front again, Sinio's very aggressive move, and he's going to get the second one as well on Prism. Doesn't even reload that gun, just throws it away and picks up the AK instead. I actually like that from Missinio. Again, they're being beat up so much, but he's playing like everything is fine, and that it's just a like you kind of have to, right? Because if you start playing very scared and timid, and you're running away from every fight, that's obviously not the way to get back into this. So there is, I think there is a fake it till you make it kind of element in this, where you just have to pretend like it's another normal day and hope that eventually reality catches up a little bit. They do win the round, and for once, actually with a chance to build a slight economy, make things a little bit more interesting here. A 3rd round on the board is not bad.
So that's kind of curious. Just building on that point I said before about not remembering too many times that the Mongols had the opening pick. I did just look at the stats. That was their 3rd time they've got the opening pick in 10 rounds. To put that in perspective, Prism has 3 opening picks in his favor by himself covered.
Yeah, that's hard to deal with. We know how much of a correlation there is between those opening kills and winning the rounds for obvious reasons. Here's potentially another one. I was going to say Prism. I think he was very favored in winning that fight. Bit of an awkward spray, perhaps. And Blitz will make it out on top. So, still, they get to walk down. Nobody really blowing open the smokes out there. And just going for some of the traditional smoke walls here. Blitz outside. He's going to catch Jacob. I think, unfortunately, that was a question of Jacob just having thrown the smoke towards Minion. If I'm right about looking at the radar there, it looked like Jacob was way out in the open. He probably could have thrown that in a safer way. So, my guess is going to be that if we see the replay, we're going to see Jacob kind of making a silly mistake, if I had to take a quick guess. But 5-on-3, surely, Vince, they can never lose this.
He's gone and done it. He's gone and done it. Smoke's now coming out. Mazinho, though, is in position, and the smoke does nothing to betray his vision. So a free pick. He can hear the pit-patter of footsteps, but Hafa still punishes him. 9-10 is there to return the favor, and so the evidence of this round will go in favor of the Mongols. Finally, they get I was going to say a clutch for a second there. 5v3s will probably feel like a clutch at this point, but they get it done clean. 4 players left alive. They picked up some AKs as well. There is a way they can get a 5th round on this half, which might be good enough.
Deep breath here. I mean, I don't disagree. 5th round would be super sick. All right, he had already thrown the grenade, so fair enough. But he was a bit out in the open. Not necessarily a mistake for Jacob, just a nice shot from Blitz. I take it all back. 7-5. I mean, again, if they win the pistol, there is a way to call this back. I would love to see. Like I said, I feel like we deserve a 3rd map just to get Mongols fired up and Apogee. Sure, like they probably like to win 2-0, but for the entertainment, I'd love something different. It's going to be a Tech9 trying to make its way through the smoke there, and not so successful. Prism goes down. Jacob's next, and getting slaughtered a little bit here. 1 Mac 10, actually a lot of Galil being picked up here, and suddenly we're into a 2 versus 3, and this is losable if you're the Mongols. You must. This is where you want the basics, right? Have a conversation. The bomb is not planted yet. You're not in any hurry. Take a deep breath and coordinate this retake.
I do like that Apogee, though, have the wherewithal and the clarity in the chaos to just pause, pump the brakes a little bit. They got tons of time. They don't need to go hell for leather with that force plan. They have lost Hafa, though, and 9-10 comes in and bags himself a 2nd frag, landing 10 for the half. A good comeback from the Mongols. It's easy to look at some of those rounds and kind of make jest and make fun of how poorly they were able to execute clutches and player advantages, but the marking of the truly great teams are the ones that are not playing even close to their top level, but they're still grinding out rounds, and they do get a 5th. There is still a way forward for the Mongols. It's not going to be easy, but there is a path forward.
Yeah, and that should be the backbone. You're absolutely right. A team like the Mongols, they've played, maybe not as much Counter-Strike as Apogee have, because they're not necessarily participating in a lot of these online tournaments, but still, it's not the first time they've had terrible beginnings to best of 3s, and at some point you should be able to develop a sort of internal confidence in the team that even bad starts can be converted into really big victories, and that's what we're going to be aiming for. And we've been here before. We're just going to do it again. Hopefully, that's the kind of stuff that they're going to be able to do. But a lot depends on how bad did the atmosphere get during the first map we're in into the second, the first half of this one even. So I guess we'll see if there is enough energy left for them here. Second half, Pistol is going to be really interesting. I'm curious to see if the Mongols have got anything special prepared. We are seeing one smoke, a couple of decoys as well, funnily enough. But yeah, one smoke, one HE. So not going to be the most elaborate execute, but they are already off to the races, blowing open the door and running straight into H5. He's going to be taking down 9-10 already. Demo with a couple of good shots. The dualies are decimating them, leaving Blitz on his own. He's still got 20 bullets left. And I was going to say, you probably should fall back here. There's no reason to give him a chance. You already know that these rounds could be lost because, you won a couple in the first half, so don't give Blitz a chance.
So difficult to see how he can press forward here with 2 players down on the ramp side of B. Julie's going first. They're the first to fall. He's got the 2 kills he was looking for. There's a glimmer of hope, but he loses 60% of his health in the process. Tickling the bomb, trying to draw out one of the players who he assumes was in decon, but that's not the case. Hypex playing possum on the double doors, now going to control room, and he has another player in ramp. And Blitz take this opportunity.
そう、これがヌークのむずいところ。
So damn well.
どっからでも回れるんだよな。
A Glock and potentially an ace clutch coming up. He doesn't have the health for it. He certainly doesn't have any backup, but he does have the element of surprise. And the fact that he's made to walk his way all the way outside, he might have the time for it. It would be a 10-second defuse, so they're going to be a long time waiting for this. And are they even expecting this? Is anyone going to think about the fact that he could be up on the high ground? I doubt it. They've just made the drop-down blitz. This might be the 1,000 IQ play, but no!
もったいねー。
He needed the straight headshot, and Hypex just barely catches him there. Look at that defuse coming in. It's going to be unbelievably close anyway. Jacob is on it, and it's down to the very last second.
俺なら絶対撃たないで隠れるわ。
And Apogee, it's got to be a sigh of relief. I really thought Blitz had that.
So did I, man. And I think, Blitz is going to be so disappointed. He's such a intelligent player. Obviously, the IGL of the Mongols. One of the best fragging IGLs out there, and he played this to perfection. But I think he got carried away. Where his position was, he could see the bomb from just shoulder peeking from heaven. You can see the trajectory.
Yeah.
He could have just looked out, peeked it, went back in again. But obviously, he probably didn't realize there was no hit for Apogee. It's very easiest for us to tell that information in the heat of the moment. Maybe he wasn't so sure.
Yeah, but you're not wrong. The fact is, if he had delayed his own death by even a second, you could tell that they wouldn't have got the defense at the end there. So it is very, very close. Such is Counter-Strike, though. Apogee now with a 3-round lead. And the Mongols, nobody's surprised with the bomb plant. They are going to be buying into this round. Mostly with pistols, but they do have that 1 AK on Blitz. So one good entry, one start to the round, and it might just work out. Jacob, yeah, I wouldn't stick around. It's fine to take the peek and hope to catch somebody off guard, but once you've been spotted, it's better to get out.
Yeah, better to keep yourself alive, keep those numbers intact.
やべ、昨日より体調いいわ。昨日はもうガチで疲れたから。
Pretty grim. They did fully invest. So Apogee on the brink of maybe securing a 10th round, because effectively it would be an eco into the next, assuming this doesn't get
そんな見方あるのかよ。やらしいな。
They still got to get across the finish line first. They spot the players from range. Hypex keeping himself alive at long range. The MP9 tries to spray in and rattle a few domes, but nothing forthcoming as of yet. Hypex finally gets his man. 30 seconds left on the clock. Prism caught out in the open, runs out of ammunition and health.
I get what Prism was trying to do, but that's way too aggressive. Again, they have the man lead.
スモークねえし。
きついなこれ。They might be okay anyway. Seems like Mongols are running out of a little bit of steam. I said that Hypex actually does go down, and Demos stuck up here, waiting for somebody to come up the ladder. Nobody's really coming, not yet anyway. And there we go. He spins around for the shot. He took down Messino inside of the bomb site, and he was ready for that ladder play to come out. So very well done. The Polish team, they're back on track right now.
ちょっとトイレ。
And I mean, they're heavy favorites, right? You can see. Oh no.
Oh man. Well, they say like a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? I think that spells an entire Bible. Techno is not having a good time.
Yeah, hands under his glasses. He doesn't want to see what's happening in front. Okay.
Understandable as well, how things have been looking. And this is the eco I was talking about. It's effectively a deco. We've got Deagles in play for all 5 players, and really nothing else. You've got no utility left in between the 5 of them. They're just looking for raw jewels, and I've got to say, the way the Mongols have been bested multiple times, like, that doesn't even seem like it's going to go in their favor either.
No, I doubt it. Bit of a shooting gallery out here. Jacob, reinvigorated by the fact that they were only going to have pistols. He's been bored a bit, and, in terms of kills, I guess, not as many, not as hard-hitting as he was on the opening map. So he wants to climb back up the scoreboard and catch up to H4 and Hypex at the moment, who aren't playing very well. So quick round, no real danger, no real surprises. They get to make a bit of cash as well on the CT side, and everything right now is coming together. This is a collapse. The Mongols. I guess they're paving the way for an interesting comeback if they can make it out of the O2 bracket, because I can't see them escaping that right now.
I like the way you think, Anders. You're spending this pretty horrendous start to the tournament in like yeah, they're just doing it, guys. Just wait. It's going to be a chef's kiss. What is it they say? Absolute cinema. There it is. I'm now a Zoomer as well. I'm one of you.
Nice, Vince. I'm gonna listen. It starts here. I'll get you on TikTok soon. I've got a lot of brain rot out there that I'm gonna start pasting you day and night, like 3:30 in the morning. I'm gonna send you the clips. Actually, a lot of them are, a lot of the memes I follow happen to be Polish. There's a Boba Kurva meme that I'm still quite satisfied with. So I'll get you up to speed. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I appreciate that. Again, that's the kind of education I want, Anders. Screw reading and maths and all that useless stuff.
That's in the past. We're living past in a new age here. Okay, nicely done. Lobby push coming out. Again, this is a bit of a killer instinct, right? They're already winning, and they're basically saying, it's up to you guys to try and find a solution for this, but while you're trying to figure that out, let's just see if we can make it extra uncomfortable by suddenly pushing in and being aggressive. Blitz is going to get caught as well. And the Mongols, an absolutely critical round. They finally have weapons, and they're getting nothing out of it.
Good entry from Techno, though. They're trying to keep them afloat, but that ship has been sunk. More holes being poked in the hull. And Techno, who was weakened, riddled with bullets. Apogee up to 11. Is it going to happen, Anders? Are we going to see a comfortable, convincing 2-0 with the Mongols going down into the 0-2 bracket? And there are some big teams down there already, as we've already touched on. Like, this is getting terrifying right now.
It's a complete inverse of what anyone would have expected. But again, I'm not sad about it because Apogee have been fighting really hard. Been covering them a lot of the CCT stuff, and it's been a struggle down there, no question about it. There are a lot more teams down there like Apogee. It's not like this is the only team that's out there that can do this kind of thing, so it's cool to see. Now, can they finish what they started here? The defense is on. Prism, they do run right through the incendiary, and Techno, a stunning opening kill. You need that kind of stuff here. He's going to go down afterwards, but it doesn't matter. He did his job, and I think they're going to be able to defend this one. Now, I will say this, if they were really
ルークって複雑だけどね、純粋な打ち合いもできるとこあるんだよね。外とか。あとはスロープとか。嫌いにはならないな。
Maybe that isn't it, but it's one of my favorite things on Nuke, because very often T's will run away from the bomb plant, and if you run down and you have the kit smoke, you can get away with one. Just saying, that would be the funniest way to win this round.
It'd also be a way that, if he died in the process, let's assume that they did all focus him and they just spammed him through the smoke. The bomb radius on Nuke is so huge that if he takes down 2 or 3 players with him as a result, that can kind of be worth it long term.
Yeah.
Because the economy is pretty solid for the CTs. That being said, though, of course, you're always going to play for yourself. You're going to play for your own economy and keep your kind of destiny and your fate in your own hands. So I definitely don't like going back and saving the AWP and the AK. And I think a player was around $1,500 as well, so it allows you to drop for him. But I like the way you think, Anders. It would have been sick. Didn't quite happen this time, though.
It's one of those things that it always just goes unnoticed, It happens every once in a while. I think the other map that you could do it on is Anubis on the A-bomb site. Like, it's way more doable than people realize. I'm predicting, and I'll guarantee you there are going to be more of those Ninja Diffusers happening on Anubis because it's so underutilized. And on Anubis, it's worse because the bomb radius on Anubis is even more devastating if you're near that A-bomb site. So
あんまりデフォルト M4 って見ねえんだけど。
we're going to see more of that. But for now,
まあ俺もデフォルト M4 なんだけどさ、あんまり 試合でデフォルト見ねえんだよな。AK なら AK も見ねえな。
Not exactly in favor of the Mongols here.
Yeah, two pretty free picks. Like Jacob loses 54 HP, but he's still able to stand his ground in ramp. Flashes are good, but they're not able to capitalize on it. He's able to fall back. He could get more kills from this. And even though he doesn't, he's got tons of info. He has weakened Mazzinho and allows Hypix now to get in position with his AWP. Does fire off the warning shot though, not able to collect any kills. And so he's forced back from the Molotov. Backs away. Mazzinho, good frag through on Decon, but they lose 9-10 in the process.
Still a chance here. I mean, this is a 5-on-3 that's turned back into a 2-on-3. So honestly, for the Mongols, it's not necessarily a bad development in the round now. Bomb going to be planted here. They need to keep this. I mean, they don't want to be fighting for overtime. You've got to try and do something else. Look at this potential here. Just waiting for it. AWP, all right. Jacob is on the other side. But I was going to say, they have all of the utility. They have the Molotov. They have the smoke as well. They've got the kits. Right now, they're just looking to see if they can find the last couple of Mongols players. Mazzinho and Senzu. Bit of an interesting position, but this Molotov, that's what I said. First start of it here. Hypex does go down, and Jacob is now on his own. Spray is pretty good, but Sensu, just stay alive. Another couple of seconds, all he needs to be bought here. And Jacob not going to be able to get the job done, even if he had. You could hear that bomb is ticking down very low in the background, so a massive victory here for the Mongols, right? It's a 5-on-3 that they managed to turn into their favor.
I think he died to the bomb as well at the end, so all of Mongols also perished in that confrontation, and their money's not great right now, so just puts an extra level of spice into this one, even though they have won the round. Interesting purchase on both teams. I think both teams can squeak out a buy, but this is where it gets a little bit concerning. You can see that they get a buy, they got an AWP in play, but Senzu's low, Mazzinho is low as well, 9-10 is low. So neither team is feeling comfortable at this point.
One smoke wall goes up. Jacob trying to blow it open. It's just still one wall. There are a lot of teams that will throw a second smoke wall so that the CTs just have no idea which one to blow open. It's a radical development on Nuke that's been happening in the modern days. Oh, the timing is absolutely crazy. Sensu, he was already being spammed down from the other side, and then Demo peeks right into him. So another 5-on-3. How many of these can they actually win, Mongols? Because this is... It doesn't look like this is the path for victory, does it?
Ooh.
It certainly doesn't. Ooh, nice shot, though. That could keep them in it, Anders. That could be the moment. They have outside control as well. They got time to play with. Now, you're talking about almost like this war of attrition. They're just slowly being faded out of existence, but that snapped them back into reality. Good frag from Techno. Catches Haffa completely unawares. That gets them back into an even keel. Time's starting to dwindle, though. The sands of time running dry, and they have to try and make something happen. And it's actually Hypex that's taking the initiative, pushing round from ramp. And oh, he misses his shot. Uncharacteristic, and he gets punished for it.
もったいない。
A lifeline given out to the Mongols, and they grab it with both hands.
What is happening? Back-to-back 3v5s that the Mongols managed to pick up somehow. You know what's so crazy as well? If Hypex had succeeded in getting that kill, the bomb was actually towards T-spawn. So there is a chance that he could have stopped the bomb from even going anywhere if he just kind of held the angle to begin with. But he can't know it, and ultimately it'll be the Mongols here coming away with this one. So an 8-11 scoreline here. Demo, he doesn't have the kit. If he had a kit and a smoke here, maybe there is some crazy chance that he could run onto the site and do something, but without it, you could see it's not going to be happening. So the dream is still alive. Third map, it's not out of the question, although it does feel like a little bit similar to the conversation that we were having on the opening map of Ancient, which is even when the Mongols win, you're not super confident. You don't feel like, yeah, they're back, this is it. It just feels like, oh, they're just barely making it.
No, exactly. I completely echo that sentiment. And, you know, looking at Hypex there, I mean, it's easy for us to, you know, hindsight's 2020, and it's easy for us to armchair sort of like play by play and look back. But if he lands that shot onto Squeaky and stays alive, I mean, I think this round just goes the way of Apogee. He found the perfect timing. There's like 20 seconds, something like that, left on the clock. Here we go. It's this moment here. 28 seconds left. Yeah. If 9-10 gets put down by Hypex,
9-10やっぱり強えな。安定感があるわ。
12-7. Instead, it's an eco for Apogee with that saved AK in play.
I myself am
音
a
入ってね
big
えぞ。
fan of, armchair sort of anything, especially if I have the benefit of hindsight. It
No
does
sound.
make me a lot smarter, Vince.
Right.
Like my ability to invest into the stock market, the graphs is incredible. Like I could have made all the right moves, Unfortunately, not into the future. Looking
You could
backwards,
be a
definitely.
multi-billionaire, bro. You know.
Oh, 1 million %. Like I'm on it. Blitz is going to go down at the start of the round here. There is an AK on demo, and the fact that now there's another gun on the ground somewhere means if the round drags on long enough, someone could go and find it. Senzu is going to be winning the fight against Prism, which is probably great news. Don't want to be losing to the USP. But again, it's hard to feel confident that the Mongols are just going to straight up win a round like this because they've thrown away quite a few weird rounds already.
Oh, exactly. That's why I think we're both a bit shook watching the Mongols, because it's been an interesting trajectory. I feel like when they first burst on the scene, we were probably skeptical as to how good these guys really are, and they built up this kind of trust by winning Yellow Covers, by being consistently in the playoffs, by beating teams like Na'Vi, Vitality, all of these kind of heavy-hitting squads. And so you always feel like there's a chance they can bounce back. But again, it's the nature and how they've been losing some of these rounds that really makes you just a little bit concerned. Demo continues to put that AK that was saved, the antique, to use, and sprays down a second player straight to the dome. And although it will be going the way of the Mongols, and they will bring this back to an 11-9 score, they're making it costly once again. And if they can keep that AK in play, it really bolsters their buy going into the next. And in actual fact, it's just got a little bit better, Anders. They picked up a second AK and a third. This would be a huge W for Apogee, all things considered.
Yeah, big swing back. Underrated. Not a lot of people consider stealing when you just need more money, but obviously Apogee are proving it's well worth it. I might start a podcast myself, Vince. It's a popular thing. I know, cold showers, investing into wild crypto stuff is the current, but I think stealing and pyramid schemes, underrated business models potentially,
Oh god.
So there is that.
Continues to incriminate himself. Oh no.
It's in a video game, of course. I have to remember to say that. Stealing, but in a video game. That's how I survive in
さあ
court. Vince.
モンゴルが追い上げてる。
Yes.
He did say it was in a video game.
So I gave you the assist there. That's one of the perks of having budget Anders with you. I've got you back, twin brother. I've got you back.
I appreciate it. Yeah, also, if I do get convicted, I'll send you to jail instead. So it's gonna be fine.
You rat.
Here we go. Jacob outside, and what a headshot it is now. He is shut down eventually, but that second kill especially. He is so lethal. And again, it's the Mongols having to fight their way back at a man disadvantage. Everything is a struggle. And in spite of that, it's 9-11. That just 2 rounds, they've really managed to walk their way back into this game in spite of all of the odds. They need to keep doing it, though. One slip up here, and it could cost them everything. Hafer, I love the fact that he's not reaping. It is not worth it. Just don't do it. You have the 2-man lead. Close this game now. Send Mongols down in that 0-2 bracket. Don't give them a chance to get this one either to a win or even into overtime.
I mean, there's time on the clock, but their options are so limited. Having to push out a squeaky, this claustrophobic avenue to death, it would feel like. And if they do get out of here, they've got Hafer, who's been on point with his aim. 19 frags. Flash tossed in. Hafer's now spotted a pixel. And that'll be enough to get Prism activated. Player up in heaven as well. It is looking so difficult for the Mongols to even pick up a kill from this position. But we saw Hafer earlier pull out a miracle clutch. Maybe it's the time of the Mongols. Senzu with one, and 9-10 with a second. They're starting to edge their way back onto the side. They can go in for this plant as well. And there's not too much they can do about it. Senzu and our demo caught in an awkward spot of, do I even bother going for this or do I just save? The Mongols, with daylight robbery, finally get their hands on a clutch that should not be.
If they end up making this comeback, it's going to go down as one of the most absurd ways to play back into a game in recent history, because we're not just talking about them outright winning a bunch of rounds. That happens sometimes. You have a slow start, then you get to the second half, and then everyone's fired up, and you win a bunch of rounds where you get all the entries, and you're just, you're just. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the Mongols having to win back to back to back 3v4s, 3v5s. They are all the time at a massive disadvantage, and somehow they keep winning those positions. This should never be happening. it's currently shaping up to be the most unlikely comeback that I've seen in a very long time. But fair play to them. I mean, if they're going to do this,
てか、4-2からよう勝ったな。
if this goes into overtime, I'm instantly flipping my prediction to go back to the Mongols. I think if that happens, they are going to be so ready to capitalize, but we're not there yet. They have to either win the map
この
or
さ、
get into
車線
overtime.
管理
If
って
it
むずい
happens,
と
I
思う
absolutely
わ。
think they can return. Oh,
本
look
当
at
に
the
この
frustration.
ヌークは。
Bogdan behind him as well. He's not happy.
なんかやりたいけど気軽にやったらボコされそうだもん、普通に。
Apogee are winning. No, wait, guys, it's actually the Mongols. I never doubted. Never doubted for a second.
Jump ship. You know, these guys are sinking. I'm not going down with that.
That's understandable.
Again, why would
I mean,
you?
Just the raw experience, right? Like being in OTs, being in these kind of positions. Like surely the Mongols have the upper hand at that point.
That would be my guess. But I also would have definitely predicted that Mongols were going to win 2-0. So stop.
True.
これ
Don't listen to my
結構
predictions.
重要やな。
If I'm talking about the stock market, then invest all your money. So 1 round lead now. I can't easily summarize how it's got to this, but somehow it has. Hypex starting off. At this point, we know it doesn't really mean anything, but again, it's a nice start for Apogee once more. And he's going to stick around for 1 more kill. He did have a teammate with him there towards the crossfire position. But 4 versus 5 and a lot of damage. Demo, I think he's managed to spam down Lucino and Techno a little bit. And there's a flank coming in as well. Again, Apogee have everything they need to win this round right now. They're in great positions. They've got all the health. They've got only 30 seconds on the T side. Mongols, they should lose this round every time, Vince.
They should.
Ah.
Being the operative word, but 910 says screw that, throws the script straight in the bin. As is so often been the case, this has been like a Twilight Zone game of Counter-Strike. Everything you think should and will happen has been the total opposite, but Jacob trying to put some kind of sanity back underway in this matchup. Senzu, though, with 8 seconds, strikes again. There's just not enough time.
間に合わない。
The plant's going to be so close, he may have just snuck it out. It's going to be
間に合
a
った
second away, but instead,
間に合っ
too
た。
late. Apogee get the round
けど
win,
HP
and
が
now
お互い
have
低
2
い。
match points.
あ、間に合ってないのか。
Oh my god, I wish he had the second. He just needed, yeah, not even a second, a 10th of a second more, and he has that bomb plan, but unfortunately, the bomb was just a little bit too far away. Timeout called now for the Mongols as they are fighting for overtime. They're trying to get back into this. What a struggle this game has been.
I think struggle is a pretty solid way of explaining this one and describing it for the Mongols. For
13対は勝ちなん
I'd
で
say it's been more
マッチ
elation.
ポイン
It's
ト
been
ですね。
stressful for sure and anxiety ridden, especially here on Nuke. But can you imagine the relief, the ecstasy, if they can take down the Mongols, a game that practically nobody would have gave them a hope to win. And yet here we stand, 2 chances,
やっぱ間に合ってないよ
2
な。
opportunities to get it done.
It's also so crazy.
間に合ったように見えたもんね、一
A
瞬。
lot of the normal analysis that you would make of some of these rounds in terms of, you know, like you would praise Apogee for getting all these opening kills, which they've been doing a fantastic job of. But unfortunately, the rest of the script just isn't really following that. They're getting opening kills and then they're losing a bunch of those rounds. So it is kind of hard to make sense of. I do love this though. We said it earlier to try and close the game. They're not just playing the standard Counter-Strike. They are going aggressive. Now, Hypex got the opening kill last round by doing something similar. And he's doubling down on it, saying they're never going to expect me to be here once again. Which honestly, if you're the Mongols and you died at that same position, you are going to be frustrated. And he's got so much map control as well. It's going to leave more space for the rest of the CT side to move around the map. And as a result, they've got 2 people already down below. And it's because, weirdly, of Hypex really forward position over at the lobby position there.
Grenade is a parting gift. Demo will connect onto Blitz. He did go for that preemptive
もったいない。
one tap round the corner, which may have given this one away. It's like you're too confident on this downstairs push. We're not buying. We're suspect of that one. Molotov's down with a flashbang though, and an explosion out from Techno and Senzu.
やっぱこのシャッターからのハサミ強いな。
Get themselves into an advantageous position, and it should be a post plant on top of it.
Yeah, and you could see Apogee have already made the choice. Back on out of here. They don't have that much money in the bank. The Mongols, you almost would want to say that they should try and hunt some of these guns. Not like they have a lot of cash themselves, but it's kind of a weird calculation here because if you do get some of the guns away, you're almost guaranteed overtime. But obviously, on the other side, if you lose everything yourself, could be a bit awkward on that side. But yeah, it's going to be 11 rounds here. Mongols so close. I'm so curious. I really want this to go to overtime. I'm so curious if our prediction about them spinning it around is going to be correct. If the experience of being a better team here is going to actually kick in, getting to overtime. They're one round away, Vince. They've almost got it.
I mean, it's one of the kind of hot talking points about the Mongols, and also, well, ex-Eternal Fire, now Aurora, is one of the narratives that we keep talking about is like they're choking in terms of big games, in terms of not being able to get things across the line when it really counts. But they have been forged through the fire and flames of these close comeback sort of OT games. We've seen multiple times them come back from vast deficits and get W's. So you'd have to give them the slight edge here, but it's the way that Apogee are playing. Like, it almost feels like they're playing with no kind of like worry, no fear. Look at Jacob again. A really important round. Just pushes red container, gets the frag packs away, and they just are unrelenting. They're not showing any respect across to the Mongols. They're playing their own game, and so far it's been working out to Storm.
I think you're exactly right, and it's fantastic. This is how you defeat a better opponent. You have to not respect them. You have to pretend like they're just any other opponent that you're going to be up against. Don't worry about where they are in the world ranking. Just shut it down. Hypex going to be dropping 9-10. And the dream of any kind of an overtime, it's further away than it's ever been. Massinio and Sensu, they've got a little bit of time here, but they do not have the aim for it. Jacob takes another one. He's up to 21. He's once again overtaken everybody in the server. And it's just a young gun left alone. What would be the clutch of a lifetime if he could pick it up, but there's no reason that he should. Hypex will take him down at Apogee with a shocking upset, defeating the Mongols in studio on LAN. What a day for the Polish team.
Mongols 負けた。まあそういう時もありますよね。
Adobe プレミアプロ、地元をコンセプトにしたアパレルブランド、地元
やっぱ試合見るとやりたくなってくるな。次の試合何時になるんだろう。1時間後の俺の予想は11時頃とかやりそうだけどね。レッドラインいいな。レッドライン欲しいな。 次の試合いつだろう。1時マジで絶対とは言えないけど。もうちょい早くなんないですかね。これやってんの今これ。
Vice goes down at CT after just one, and so Maka, he's going to move in on that. Exorcist cutting off rotations. Stair trying to get back, but Exercise is going to fall back in towards Arch. And
the bomb's alone in the site.
Yeah, this is a very awkward scenario. Stown is still prowling around the ruins, and there has to be a commitment to the plant soon. And so the bomb does go down, but Exercise is still at Library, and I think that element of confusion has kept Stair here. And Device need to move in.
And, or excuse me, Stown has no HP. He'd love to do something, but doesn't have the health.
Yeah, now body, good dink. Great dink. He's looking to try and close it. If he's able to close it out, P250 out towards Banana, and now Stown moving in on low HP in front of him wasn't enough to get it done. Now Stown is looking towards CT, but Exorcist has already moved, and the Sound Stown on low HP still pulls it off for Astralis.
Oh, that's incredible. The pre-fire spam, a little bit nervous. And Exercise drops a 1v1 for Astralis to get their second round. Oh, that's a crazy turn of events, especially with how good that P250 was working. Good save from Stown. And Astralis continue fighting forward.
Yeah, he gets dropped low a little bit later into the round here. Some extra damage done through the wall. It looked like it was more than it was, and then Stown's able to turn with the AK right at the end. That is huge for Stown. For Astralis. That was chaotic though. 3D Max are all over the map.
I think that round didn't have to be as stressful for Astralis. I think it did come down to that detail of the mistake on the smoke, of dropping it, throwing it deep towards Banana instead of saving it for the choke point. I gave him the opportunity to kind of walk in and play contact to great effect.
Nice 3K there for Stown. He's off to a hot start. 10-2 at the moment. And the tied scoreline, 3 apiece. Money's finally back here for 3D Max.
T-side starting to feel stalled out though. Haven't had too many gun rounds of play to see the full game plan they'll have, but they're taking a timeout. That kind of call for the B contact push through the smoke, break the smoke and go. Felt early. They've been very focused on the B bomb side in these first 5 or 6 rounds. So we'll see if they decide to attack elsewhere. Device has his op out, so CT side, the defense, the nature of this is going to change. Now you can see that mobile op moving around the map, and if Device starts to have impact, can really dictate what 3D Max has available to them. He can be a menace and a nightmare, especially for a team that won't have many flashes coming into this round. Three in a row for Astralis on the CT side.
Mac is about.
違う AK 欲しいな。
Get some nades
この
dropping on
AK
his
来る。
head. There they are. Manages to avoid too much damage. On a 44, but could have been a little bit more lethal.
この日陰の AK、日陰のジェットセットかっこいいな。
It's comfortable spot it short with that ult. He does some of his best work. Earlier in the half, we've seen some quicker calls for 3D Max, in particular towards that B-bomb site, but slowing things down. And a great smoke spam here for Lucky. Stown's not going to be too happy about that, and they've lost one of their biggest players here, Astralis. Device did not get back into the site. Fortunately for Device, they didn't peek that corner because he would have died.
Oh,
Oh.
he's gonna
Knife
die
out. Oh,
anyways.
no, that's a horrible round.
Yeah, it's a really he got rattled and never got back into it.
What?
Here's the switch up to the A bomb site, and boy, does it work.
Dude, he just jumps up,
なんじゃそりゃ。
headshot while jumping onto the truck.
Yeah, man, Device got all sorts of discombobulated in that round.
Yeah, that round just sucks for Astralis on so many levels. Stout gets spammed down through the smoke in Banana. Device just gets rattled and then dies at long, not really expecting to be so far out. And then Stare gets jumping headshot by the AK.
当たんな。
Well, a lot of this is the fun of what 3D Max brings to the table. That's enjoyable. Is they take some pretty aggressive timings. Like I think Device in his head is like, okay, most teams what they do, they smoke left mid, they do the molly, they do the flashes, they take brackets control, and they kind of settle in behind this utility, get comfortable, and then they make a decision from there. Well, 3D Max gets up mid. Here's the op shot on lane, and I don't even know who it was. Gravity, I think, makes the decision to just push rap side super fast, super aggressively.
Seizing their opportunities. Well, maybe that's one way to kickstart this T side again. You said it stalled out. They had a timeout ahead of this round.
It's the first time they've really attacked the A bomb site on a gun round, just like gone to it with attack.
Yeah.
Yep, it's worked very nicely.
And it also helps they got that one pick at B too, which obviously weakens the defense.
That's part of what allows Gravity to make that decision is the knowledge that you killed the B defender and the A support rotator is going to have leaned to the B bomb site that early in the round.
There's Maka going for top mid peak. Device sends the nade back his own direction, but Stan will land his.
That one's understandable. Didn't want to get caught on the repeat by Makazop.
But Stoun's at least landed in the right spot, so the damage that Device is able to output early was finished off by Stoun. So teamwork to grab the opening kill, and Yabi down to 1 HP.
They've just traded positions with Devices off going over to the B bomb site. Yabi with that low health gonna park himself inside the bomb site, try and get one kill creative when they're not paying attention to him. Unfortunately, that's the idea because the attack is going in the other direction. It will be right at Device in his AWP.
Here's the flash out towards CT, but Device goes for the pick. Can't land it, goes back again. Also a missed shot. Third time lucky. No scope up next, but can't connect it. And Cadian at least getting one through it. That smoke was dispersed for just a moment, but does he go through it? He does. But to his death, not to success, and the plant starts to come in for 3D Max. Astralis, due to that kill from Cadian, still one player up, but remember, Yabi's on 1 HP.
Oh.
Exercise gets a double kill, grenade to remove Yabi, and then Stare comes in on the cleanup regardless. He still wins the round, and that one extra man proves enough for Astralis.
That's a sketchy retake. Astralis almost let that one split. Cadian getting a little bit tricky, trying to go through the smoke a little early. A blind kill as well from the player over in water. Very, very difficult retake of that B bomb site, but a good clutch at the end of the day. Stare continues to deliver for this team. He's been solid. I mean, it's only been, what, one series yesterday, one series now today, but in both of them, he's performed very, very well coming out of a very rough Lisbon for Astralis. Stoun leading the way here on Inferno so far, 11-4.
Look at Stoun. You can tell he's having an 11-4 game. He's pushed all the way through into the T apartments, taking a risk here for Astralis, but has gained so much space on the map.
There hasn't been a whole lot of love from 3D Max's T side over towards apartments. We mentioned they've only really attacked A once. There hasn't been a whole lot of presence in apartments. We saw like a lurk smoke a round or two ago from Exercise, but that's mostly about it.
How far he's going.
Yeah, so Stoun's just like, all right, I'll see if you're here this round, and you're not, so now I know what's happening on the map.
Well, if Device can slow them down, which he doesn't on the first attempt, then this allows Stoun's flank to become even more important. Here's the fight. Oh my god. He did not make the most of it. Mac actually just jumped right by.
He got the information that it's a fake, though.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, there's not enough time to get players in position to do anything about it. Stare was left on an island all on his own, now smoked off, now bomb being planted.
And they know that Stoun's still around here. In fact, reconfirmed by Maka, and that's got to be very frustrating for Stoun. You get all that space, you get the flank going, you think you're about to get the perfect timing through the banana flank, and then suddenly Maka runs back past your crosshair. You get involved in this awkward fight, your element of surprise is gone. It's not early enough to allow your teammates to set up for the final A defense, and it all just comes crumbling down around them.
You got to give credit over to 3D Max as well. It's really cool calling in the sense that we mentioned it a couple of times. The emphasis towards B, the lack of attention towards the A bomb site. So you set up a very, very nice fake. Two players pumping out utility, simulating an entire B execute. One player committed through it. and it bought just the exact window of opportunity combined with that flank to find Stare on his lonesome at the A bomb site. Good round, good call from Maka, and it's given them the lead. 3D Max 5-4. Little zebra print mouse pad.
I think it's awesome.
You like it?
I want one. I think it looks pretty awesome.
Feels very modern, contemporary.
Exactly. Suits device.
Yeah.
It's not quite the anime mouse pad that Chopper brings.
Not
to the table,
quite
but
the anime mouse pad, but we'll give him a break.
Chopper really does a service to the entire community with that one. He even turns it to face the camera so we can all enjoy it in its full glory.
Yeah.
And he also brought us the nose strip first.
True, he has brought that into play, which has been a huge revelation amongst the scene.
And he brought us dog. So
I think Alex has been casting with nose strips now.
he has, yep. I tried to, but for some reason the one I bought just didn't really stick to my nose that well, Jason.
Didn't have the strength you needed.
No. So maybe I'll give it a go again. But everybody just thinks I'm walking around with a broken nose or something. They just get a lot of questions.
It's the price you got to pay.
For clean air through your nostrils.
Increased performance.
Increased brain capacity.
All right, Deva, give me a mid pick. Give me this pick down.
Here he is.
He's not going wide.
Well, probably a good decision not to do so, because then he can go back again, and Maka walks right into him. So Device grabs the opening pick of the round. Yabby committed behind the sandbags. His teammate sending a flash over, and Lucky gone off the top of the wall. Lovely from Yabby.
Just a Velociraptor with that posture.
I like that.
Destroys everyone. Exercise gonna try and make his play up middle. It's all they've got. Device steps into the shot. And so quickly, 1 minute and 15 seconds, and it's a 1v5 for Gravity.
It's a save for Gravity. A 1v5 save. And it's a long one too, Jason. So, how have you been doing?
I've been doing good.
You're in the kitchen. What have you been cooking lately?
Oh, nothing. I haven't been.
You haven't been putting watermelons in pots?
No, that's actually an odd kitchen decision. Kind of cool.
I wonder if you can get it out of the pot, though. I feel like you might
be
risk
stuck.
breaking the pot.
Yeah, well, some things have to be done.
Yeah, well, there's the cast iron skillet. That's obviously won your heart.
The watermelon really improved with the seedless development.
Oh, you like GMO? Is that a GMO?
Probably.
Yeah.
But, I mean, watermelon seeds
I mean,
are
it has
just
to be,
about
right? Genetically modified.
the most annoying
seedless. Yeah, that's true. Just spitting it out every time. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. And then they also have candy floss grapes as well.
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy, that's it.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same thing? Candy floss?
I don't know, but that's probably a weird UK term.
Yeah, I
So
think
yeah, probably.
candy floss is indeed what they call it in the UK.
Yeah.
You know, Rush makes a great banana bread.
I believe that. It's
And
quite the baker.
Those bananas look ready for a. Well, they kind of look half ripe, half.
They need a little
half
bit more
spoiled.
time. They need a little bit darker.
Yeah, and then you can whop them in a nice little banana bread for you guys at home. All right, that's that 1 minute save over.
And that's the kitchen.
Welcome. Well, maybe we'll go back to the kitchen later on today.
All right, 5-5. There's plenty of money for 3D Max to buy around the saved AK-47. They've got a good amount of utility as well, so they can rinse right back into this. This is exactly what we wanted out of Inferno as well coming into this. With the two maps previously, completely different win rates. 3D Max dominant on the first map, Astralis dominant on the second map. This was always supposed to be a closer affair, and the teams are delivering for us now. Lucky as an opening kill, traded back by Stoun's Molotov.
Lucky. Waiting for that fight against Device. And it's not going to come because Cadian's requested the AWP to the low HP player, then Device peeks into the open, and I bet he wish he had that AWP.
I bet he's happy he didn't die.
There's two ways of looking at it, yeah. Absolutely.
That's the second little miscue we've had from Device with a peek.
Cadian is worried about the archway play. That information's been passed on over, that has been left open.
Yeah, one lurker up mid just throwing out utility to show bracket control and top mid control. It's keeping two defenders frozen, but Astralis is never going to break up this 2-2 split.
So it's a two-man setup to defend the B bomb site. Device and Cadian. Cadian's going to be the man on the AWP. Device of the AK close at first oranges.
And if you're the B defenders in this round, you're pretty certain it's coming to your bomb site at the end of the day. With all the gunfire, ooh, good molly.
No.
Now you're certain. Now Device knows.
And Device just put out his utility a little bit too early, so now it's stand and fight and hope you can show
Ah.
something. Well, for Device, it's nothing. So, Lucky clears out the B bomb site. It's a save call for the remaining members of Astralis going into the last round of the half. And yeah, that's got to be frustrating for Katie, and that Molly comes in while he's on 2 HP. He just burns.
Yeah, no chance to get out in time whatsoever. So Stown and Stare left to be the ones trying to save these AK-47s into the next round. Should be no issue. No hunt coming in from 3D Max.
Yeah, it's got to be a little bit of a frustrating half for Stown because he's obviously had a great game here. He was trying to bring them to Stown Town, but no one from Astralis showed up with him.
It's interesting because they've been going away from him for the most part. So, you know, it kind of highlights sort of the issue is he's gotten a lot of these kills on some retakes and some late round scenarios at the B bomb site. They're not really attacking directly into him. So yeah, he's recovered and saved you a few rounds, but he's not really able to dictate a whole lot just by virtue of him being out of the action by role, by position. One round lead for 3D Max. Final round of the first half, third and deciding map. Winner moves on to the 2-0 group in the Swiss system at PGL Bucharest. Loser moves down to the 1-1 group. And we draw the matchups for tomorrow. Later on today, we got Complexity Furia.
P90, let's go.
Oh, damn.
No one expected this.
What's he doing with that?
But Bodley's brought it to the table. The P90 makes its appearance here in Bucharest. And Body is barraging his way up Banana. And the P90 unleashes fury. Great opening. Yabi gone. Cadian cast away. And we've got Stown, the sole hope for Astralis. And that is really it. 3v2 now. Retake required for Astralis. Actually, they've stopped the plan from going down so far.
You get killed by a P90 and you're just like, what's going on? What's happening? Grenade.
Down.
Oh, Body survived. 2 health for himself as all the Molotovs and fire rain in. Device over the top looking to turn this
Give
around.
us one more, Body. No, he's not able to get it this time on the P90, but Device looks to clutch. 1v2. We got the first kill, I believe, while his teammate was still up, so look to close this. Flash goes over the top of the CT smoke. Device expecting an aggressive play, but not happening.
This is good, though, from Device. He's delayed this long enough for the smoke to fade away.
And also to sort of put some thoughts into the heads of 3D Max. He could have wrapped around Ruins.
Well, they're trying to do the same thing to him right now. They're trying to make it feel like there's a potential. They just fell back and went to the A bomb site. So at some point, Device, you have 2 options. At some point, you're going to have to start peeking and jiggling for some information, or you just take the gamble. You call the bluff and you just say, I'm going to sit here and not peek.
Here's the information play. Oh, what?
No.
Peeks into the open and a great shot from Lucky. Patience pays off. And there were periods throughout that first half where it looked like 3D Max were stalled out, but
yeah,
they reignited the engine.
Had some really nice answers and rebuttals. I think, you know, the heavy emphasis on B early, starting to get kind of shut down a little bit. You pop back to the A bomb site, get a nice win there, and then you can start working Astralis around the map. So yeah, I mean, to end this half, 6 rounds exchanged back and forth, traded between the 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to feel like just one of those frustrating CT halves for Device. You know, every time we cut to his POV, there was just something that felt frustrating happening on his screen.
He wasn't feeling the timing as well as we normally do. He never got that op rolling on the CT side. Would have been a nice tool for Astralis to have. He'll have to make do without it. 7-5 in 3D Max's favor as they switch over to defense. Astralis going to attack into it, and we'll see what Cadian can call here.
If you're wondering the context of this matchup, this is a 1-0 game. Astralis beat FaZe Clan yesterday, and we watched 3D Max defeat the Mongols. They're having a bit of a rough time at the moment in Bucharest, the Mongols.
Yeah, they really are. Which is a shame, because this is the event where the top 4 teams are gone. And
Yeah.
you're looking at teams like Mongols and Aurora to say, this is your time.
Yeah, these are tournaments where you really want to see the Mongols grab it and
Yeah,
take some big steps.
Ooh, nice shot. Yeah, without vitality, without spirit, without Mouse here, like this might be your best chance all year to lift a trophy in some sense.
Oh, straight through the smoke. Stow not going to be happy about that. So Astralis have lost 2 players early in this pistol round before it really feels like it's ever started.
Yeah.
And you've got utilities. You obviously had an idea of how you wanted this to go, and step 1 of the plan, dead. So probably plan B is dead as well. So let's see where they go with plan C.
Yeah, it can be a very frustrating pistol round because you're just like, great, we have no good options now. 3 versus 5. You do have body very low on HP. He's tucked himself into pit at the broken wall. He's buddied up with Exercise, so he can be the bait. You take down body, you don't expect a second player to be there, and Exercise pops up. We'll see how impactful it is because they're coming right at it. Molotov into the position, though, from Cadian could be spectacular.
He's throwing out smoke to his teammate. Cadian's going to get the Molotov lined up, but not towards the pit. He's actually mollied Stair. So, Stair's going to have to go through his own teammate's Molotov, and that has not exactly worked out. Plan Cadian denied.
Yeah, like a little pixel throw, and obviously it bounces to the worst possible. That's a pistol round Astralis don't want to remember.
I think you do want to remember
We
that.
forget that one.
So you
pretty
never
quick.
do it again.
I mean,
Alright, so there's not much you can do about that. That's just a great shot. This also very unfortunate.
Can't do anything
Last
about that
bullet
as well.
through the smoke. Then you can definitely do something about that. You don't molly your teammate next time, and Gravity gets a beautiful trio from the bomb site.
That's pistol round over to the advantage team, so a 3-round lead as
3D
Astralis
Max
force
勝ちそうやな。
into round 2. Tech 9s and Deagles. The victory here for 3D Max gives them a good grip on this series to close it out. 4-round advantage and economic control if they take a dub here.
もうちょっとなんか
Very chill. And while this utility's up to start this round, like the first 30 seconds are kind of going to be these Deagles just looking for picks. Cadian and Device are going to kind of sit back and let the Deagles do their thing, see if you can find you any openings to exploit later on. Cadian's got utility. They've got 3 smokes and 3 flashbangs to exploit anything the Deagles can create.
Push down Banana, comes at the right time for Body. He gets information as he peeks up and he spots all the T players from Astralis looking towards that A bomb site with nades in hand. They leap towards Long and Rapid. Mac is playing the Graveyard. His teammates got the apartments. Taking balcony control is massive as it allows the cleanup to come in comfortably for Mac as he can focus all of his resources on dealing with the Long threat. So 9 rounds for 3D Max. Astralis don't really even get close to making that one competitive. And now they're down to a situation where the best you can get is P250s and a couple of Deagles, and we're looking at 10 rounds for 3D Max.
And you make it even more of a nightmare status. Well, Maka just got 3 kills with the MP9, so he gets all that bonus money as the Opper of 3D Max. He's going to have another chance at it here of what should be unarmored opponents on the Astralis side. So 3D Max is looking like a 10-5 lead, money control. Your Opper's got, I would imagine you'll pick up an Op in the first gun run and plenty of cash behind it. 3D Max is sitting very nice to close this series out. Astralis have a huge task ahead of them when the guns return.
Here goes Stair, unleashed with the Tech 9, a double kill on Body and Lucky. Mac able to get one back with a grenade, and then the MP9. He's just making money. Making a lot of money right now, but 3v2 stops the banana play from happening, and so Cadian's going to go up middle, but he's only got a Glock in his hand, so...
Yeah, you can have the best flank in the world. The Glock in your hand is not going to be too much fun to work with, no matter where you get yourself. So he's going to work his way into CT spawn, and he might be putting himself... okay. Fake smoke up towards library from Astralis. Bomb is an alt mid. Cadian, they're trying to buy time for Cadian's flank to have an impact, but the defenders keep pushing down Banana further and further away from him. Now, if he goes and picks up a gun...
then we're talking, but...
yeah, then we're cooking with gas.
MP9.
24 bullets as well, doesn't have to reload.
They're not reading it, they're not looking, they're not even checking even slightly, so here we go, Cadian. This could be a double kill. Doesn't know the second player's at the coffins, but there's a free pick. He's gonna be so disciplined in this scenario.
Ah!
Oh.
Well,
Could have been everything.
何やってんすか?
that's how it usually plays out.
Yeah,
何やってんすか?
Nope, that's how it usually plays out as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. A
Oh,
lot of behind the head shots not landing.
They're just like us. They're just like us.
ガーディアン先
I
生
feel
何やってんす
relatable
か?
today. Well, This is kind of it now for Astralis, isn't it, Jason? This buy.
Yeah, this buy is the one. See if they can get him back on track. Katie doesn't have a whole lot of runway to work with calling this T side.
Only one player from Astralis has broken double figures.
I know, it's continuing. The Stown solo carry.
And it's cooled off too, because I remember halfway through the first half saying, wow, he's 11-4, and now he's 14-9. So they just haven't been shooting back. Cadian inside of the smoke. Great play over the top. A little bit of a risk and perfect reward. Save call for 3D Max on A.
Yeah, that's a nice, easy, old school play as well. That's been around for years. So Body and Lucky not respecting it, and Cadian cracks things open. As far as first gun rounds go of getting on track to start a comeback, this is as good as you can hope for. No one's died. Nobody's gone down. 2 really easy openings in Banana and a free 6th round on the board.
Actually allowing Yabby to hunt a little bit here. There isn't a whole lot of money for Astralis, but need to inflict some damage in their minds. Mac is AWP, not going to be stopped. They're going to continue throwing bodies at this. They could end up being very expensive for Astralis, who haven't stabilized in the economic realms, whereas 3D Max have plenty of cash left over.
Yeah, I like this call to back off the hunt, although they are leaving Stown to go for it over at Halls, who's very close up. He heard the op scope in. He wants to catch Exercise, and he will.
Oh, there's a 20-liter backpack right there. That puts him on in adjacent.
And a plastic bag. There was a plastic bag as well to carry some goods.
Whoever it is,
although I don't know why you carry your goods in a plastic bag when you've got a 20-liter bag.
Maybe they have more than 20 liters worth of stuff.
True. Fair point. All right, a couple guns fall at the end of the day for 3D Max, but they've got plenty of cash to replenish them.
Do you Americans use liters when you're talking about, like, backpacks?
Yes.
Okay, so you do gallons
for liquids.
For liquids, and liters
for containers.
Okay. Just make it confusing for no reason. Cadian, 60 HP. He was the hero of the last round. He won it by his opening move. This time he gets legged in mid. At least lucky to be alive.
Well, they've taken a lot of space up in apartments already, so he's got to be careful. It looked like he wanted to wander himself in towards Boiler and look for a fight. That would have been a mistake. Yabby with a strong position. Maka the only aggressor as well, playing with the op under porch. And the entire T side, the entire Astralis attack is here as well. No one in Banana, no one looking for a Banana push at top mid ramp. All 5 players working up mid and Halls.
Here goes Maka. Swinging towards short, gap at top mid, spotted, down, drop, goes back again. This time, a bullet to the head from Stare, who doesn't stop, and in fact has his next fight against Exercise, who's under a lot of pressure, but fortunately has a great teammate in Gravity. Exercise is out of ammo though, but Gravity stepping up again to defend him, and Cadian was tagged early by the AWP, so does not have the health to funnel out of the apartments, and has to back away and hang on to this AK-47.
And it's okay as long as he hangs on to the AK. If he loses it, he's going to be a little bit hurt for what he can
Doesn't
bring
look
into the
like
next
he's going to get away with it, honestly. Look how close they are. They're swarming him. Surely they get his scent soon.
This might be the last place you look, though. Hiding in plain sight is Cadian.
Is it? It's true.
Oh.
But he moves out of plain sight into very plain sight.
All right, 11-6. All the guns taken away. Cadian stuck on 3,400. Everyone else has got plenty of cash after the very first decisive round victory for Astralis. Built up some money they can spend now, but still 5 rounds back and didn't close that gap enough, I think, before 3D Max put a stop to it.
I mean, Gravity's the hero here. Exercise was about to just get wrecked, and then Gravity steps up and helps him to the bomb site.
Yeah, it's a lovely setup that they execute there. It's really well played. Juggling the aggression. Good job from Gravity with the MP9. 16 kills on Gravity, 16 on Maka as well.
Well, we actually said that was the round for Astralis, right? And now, getting to the point where it's hard to believe in any kind of comeback here. They're using their second timeout. We're seeing some weaker elements of their buy coming up in the next round as well.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, it's the fact that they have to reset 3D Max's economy still, right? Like, if this was 6-11 and 3D Max were out of money out of an Astralis victory, might be something different to talk about, but still seems a long way away. Still very possible. Let's see what Cadian can do with this Mac 10. You imagine he'll be the space taker for his rifled up teammates. Four-man defense to start at the B bomb site. Gravity hustling back now. And Astralis is already up mid.
Ah, これ勝つな。てか、
Body all the way down banana. Mac has got the peak over
やってる
towards
し
the stairs. He can even flick to the left side here quite swiftly. Mac will do exactly that. Body to rattle shots into the chest of Cadian. Then Mac will seal it with a collateral. It is Yabby to do every.
あ、こっちはエンシェントか。あ、ラストスイやんけ。何だよ。
opening up that Pain can try and exploit, try and expunge through on this CT side defense. They've got Brokey up on the little pitch, trying to peer down with his orb. The bomb now getting retrieved. 40 seconds is going to eat up a lot of the clock, though, for NQC to get back over and join his teammates on long. But that seems to be their final destination. They will do or die out on this long side. Or perhaps not, Anders. They're changing it up. They're going back to middle again.
How many rounds have we had so far where we're down to no time at all? But by the time they get here again, but there's no flaws can happen right now. If they lose even one player in transition, I think the round is almost over already. Davideus the one to go down. Smoke goes up on top. We're talking about 14 seconds. One more player in the bomb side, and Carrigan. Oh, he just had to stay alive, but Demo takes him down instead. The Molotov nearly canceling the round again, but this time it doesn't spread the full distance, and somehow Pain get the bomb plant. If Carrigan crouches, it's FaZe winning it by default. There's nothing that Pain could have done, but that straight headshot to kill him is absolutely monstrous. NQC now, a bit of risk here, does miss the shot, and Rosen, has he slipped the net? You think he might have dive under the radar? They don't know about this. He's up close, picking up the kit now. He knows that one of them is by Gandalf, but can he guess where the other one is? Wallbang is pretty good. It takes a lot of bullets, but he gets the job done. And now it's on Demo, 17 years old, to try and clutch this against FaZe, and he swings wide. It's exactly the right idea. Unfortunately, he ran in to the Norwegian mountain god that is Rain.
Yeah, and it turns out that mountain gods make great bodyguards as well, Anders, because he held the line like a true beast. Kept his teammate alive to go for that full defuse, but I think at the same time, FaZe are like relieved they've won the round. They're also asking themselves, guys, this was a 2v4. Yeah. How are we even getting into a position where we're nearly losing that round? That's disgusting. Like you said, if Carrigan just keeps his head down, they win the round by default because there's not enough time for him to get on the site and deal with him accordingly. You can see the frustration kind of creeping in when he realized maybe he just didn't have a good read at the time. He was so focused on the task at hand. But whichever way you spin it, FaZe taking the lead for the first time here in this best of three.
このクロスや最強まさか。
It's pretty scrappy to begin with. Don't disagree. That is the kind of. I mean, we had the same criticism for Mongols when they were playing against Apogee just now. If you watch that game, there were so many rounds where Mongols had the lead, they had the man advantage, and they ended up throwing it away. Not because of, you know, necessarily anything crazy, just failing the basic parts of playing Counter-Strike. Set up some crossfires. Don't fight if there's only 10 seconds left. Like, these are the kind of things that we expect out of these tier 1 teams. So when you see them fall short on that, usually a sign that there's something about the dynamic in the team that's not quite working out the way that you'd want. Can't really afford that. Nice shot from Brokey, though. Gonna be taking care of Bigu Zero. Does go wide here, which again is one of those big risk kind of plays where you could end up going down. But again, it's also very much in Brokey's wheelhouse to double down on this kind of aggression. And sometimes that's where you allow for a team to get back into it. This time, though, it's Demo. A little bit shocked by the fact that he was still at that corner. And now 5 versus 3, looking pretty good. Good tracking mid-air. And again, when it works, it looks beautiful.
That was a beautiful shot. That was exquisite. He goes back in, his bloodlust not satiated. He decides, listen, guys, give me the ace. Go one by one into me. Frozen scumbags that away, but they don't care about that. Some great shots. Shorts against an eco. It's meaning that third tracking shot mid-air. A thing of beauty. And FaZe extend their lead now. That is 5 rounds on the bounce without any kind of retaliation. And that is why we're going to get our first tactical timeout. 5 rounds in a row. Alarm bells beginning to sound in the distance. And Pain want to make sure that they cut this one short as fast as possible.
FaZe have really done such an amazing job at taking away many of the tactical platforms that you really need on the T side. Most importantly, if you can't control catwalk on this map, the playbook is so close to what you really can do on the T side. Now, still, if you get the long spawns, you can try and go out there and control them. That's perfectly fine. But if you don't get the long spawn, at some point you are going to need to default out and take the catwalk position. Whether you want to use it for anything else is completely irrelevant. The CTs just can't know whether or not you're there or not. Because if they know, then they pretty much have a good read on what's going on. And I think FaZe have done a remarkable job of stopping that from happening and making it very uncomfortable. Now this time, it is going to be the long spawn. Brokey is so ready though. Davide is blown up already, and this time he is going to fall a little bit further back. So Pain, they don't have to commit to it, but uncomfortable position right now. They're on the rest of the map just making sure that nobody else from FaZe is pushing up, but all this is going to do is cost them a lot of time. They're not going to learn that much either.
Exactly, and the fact that FaZe were able to get that pick from Brokey while flashed, but it has to pull back, means that they're going to have a very good read of the possibility of one or multiple players being out here on long, so there's no reason for them to over-rotate. And have a look at Elish. He's pushing up through middle. So much information being gathered here, plus the opportunity to just cut away any T's that remain. Decides better of it, but that intel is worth its weight in gold. There's still a minute left, but he's under no pressure to leave this premises right now. So Pain's situation is so bad.
The smoke that they threw for the cross just now landed behind Brokey, so he knows that they're not pushing up long. Now, the reason they throw the crossing smoke early on the T side is to try and bait out utility from FaZe, but they don't need to throw any utility FaZe. They know that no one's coming long. Now they're going to do it again. Brokey's still going to be in front of it here, so we'll see if it covers him. Last time it didn't. He could just stand here. This time, all right, a little bit better, but still, he's able to see them coming. And now look at the utility on FaZe. They should really never lose this round. Just off of grenades alone, they have so much to work with. There's the first grenade. Down to 20 seconds. They got one more Frozen if he can get here in time. It's Leaf to get the headshot on Big Ozira. And again, the clock is running incredibly low here. Pain, they've left nothing to chance now. 10 seconds. That bomb plant has to be flawless at this stage. Oh, they're jumping and shooting at Snow with a headshot. And it's the grenade from Frozen. Finally landing right on top of him. So close round, all things considered, but FaZe, I think they had the read the whole time.
Exactly. They had full control over the information war between the two of them. And that's allowed by the opening pick. But I think this is also a point that harkens back to something you said earlier with that wrap into tunnels. That so few teams on the CT side are willing to be proactive on Dust 2. They're very reactive. They're absorbing the pressure. They're absorbing the punishment. How many teams would get an opening pick on long and then just sit there on the site and do nothing? Instead, FaZe take the leash. They push him out. They throw that smoke you mentioned before as well. They get full control, and they know every step of the way roughly where Pain are coming in. Really good round from FaZe.
Here we go. No delay on this one, Vince. They're going to be going right into it. I don't actually hate the idea, but once again, FaZe are beyond prepared. They had 3 people there. They had already the grenades down. Pain were hoping that this was going to be one of those, 1B, 1 mid, 3A kind of defense, which is pretty common. And then they just want to trade out that shot at the B bomb side.
ここにいたらさ、野良からすげえいい FB もらったから、あんまりここも使いたくねえんだよな、このダブドア近く。
I said, I'm almost hate watching Dust 2 most of the time when I'm watching it, really at any level, just because all I'm watching really is sort of the same sort of gambles on the CT side. I think C-side Dust 2 is fine. There's a lot of interesting stuff happening there. But for the CT sides, I just find it to be generally quite disappointing. But FaZe, they're the rescue. They're saving Dust 2 for me.
Yeah, and keep in mind as well, like that's 6 rounds in a row, but one of the rounds they picked up, the first one was basically down to Rain throwing the God Molotov, which kept them in the game, and then since that point, there's only been 1 bomb plant in 6 rounds. So this has been just really solid, 7 rounds, pardon me now, really solid CT sides, and it feels like they're in their comfort zone. Like Pain, they're just getting choked out, they're claustrophobic out long, they can't seem to get any kind of control. You even mentioned it yourself. How many rounds have gone down to 20 seconds, 15 seconds left on the clock?
Yeah.
That goes to show how well FaZe have been punishing them.
This time again, they actually had a push into lower dark. I think it was Frozen who was in there for a bit, or maybe it was Leash. But either way, they've run in there, they run back again, and even if there's no fight and no damage taken from that, it is just the paranoia for Pain of having to look and spending time, checking every single corner. You're just not sure. all you see is that there was a smoke up, and you know someone could have been there. Going to be clearing catwalk in a very risky way. He didn't have the normal Molotov that you would throw to the corner there, so instead he just has to swing it behind the flashbang, which easily can get you killed. Look at all the little flashes in the left corner. That's all the grenades that are being held by FaZe. Hold it for more than X amount of seconds, and the HUD will tell you, which indicates that, you know, they're just waiting. They're just waiting for the right cue. They're so primed. If anything happens, they can slow it down again. They can throw the flashes and the Molotovs. Stabadeus, though, taking down Brokey. Maybe this is an opening. They need it right now, Vince. It's 30 seconds left.
Oh, American with the Orc, though. Nearly gets 3. NQZ's been petted down to just 8 HP, but let's give them a way to push on long. Try and develop the site. Frags are plenty. Snow and Davideus both chip in, but now it's down to Frozen. Typically a play wanting these kind of positions. Misses his first shots. Can't finish Davideus off and will be punished. And that 7-round killing streak of wins and victories has come to an abrupt end. Even then, if Karrigan picks up that last kill onto NQZ on long, it could have gone the opposite direction.
It absolutely, oh, I mean, it's so nuts, isn't it? You're right, though. NQC, so he had the bomb as well, running up long with 10 seconds. I mean, again, it's another one of these rounds where one little thing that goes wrong, and Kane could have easily lost it. They do win it, and they absolutely win the next one. I think 7 rounds is such a good scoreline right now in the current Dust 2 meta that I'm definitely very happy for it. NQC there to pick off Brokey at the start of the round, but Elish is still pushing up, so he's not going to have any backup here. He's on a one-man mission, try and see if he can kill this round and win it for his team. They don't know. This is going to be a shock when you're coming out of long. Oh no, Snow, how did he check it? How did he know?
Elish was looking at T-Spawn as well. It must be so frustrating. I'd love to see the kill cam on that one from his perspective. Yeah, he's looking at T-Spawn. He anticipated some passive E back there. For the last round, it wouldn't go beyond the realms of reason. They might pick up a secondary AWP and try and utilize it from spawn, and then trade to the AK. Meanwhile, though, Big Azera lays down the law and secures the A side. So it seems like 7 rounds may be a solid outcome for FaZe, but that's maybe all they get here. As NQZ puts his AWP to use again, he's gone full circle after the open.
わ、リコイルむずい、やっぱ。
Catwalk. Karrigan now tries to stand his ground against 5 Mighty's resilience. And although he sprays in, NQZ is there to pick him up. 7-5 the score. A very solid half, all things considered for FaZe, and Brokey in particular. Give credit where it's due. He was bossing Pain most of those rounds.
A bit of a towards the end. For the Brazilian side, it's not all doom and gloom. It's a long way to go still. I am really impressed by FaZe. I remember watching FaZe on that side, but not necessarily that good. I feel like in the past, some of their aggression weirdly hasn't actually been much in the middle or lower dark. It's been pushing long, where you sometimes see Rain or Karrigan, you know, go for sort of those mid-round long pushes when on CT side. And that's rolling the dice a lot. Like, it can work, but it's so easy to either be too early or too late when your whole round is based on that. So whatever they were doing here, FaZe, I'm really a big fan. I think that's really cool. Nicely done. Second half coming up. Nothing has been decided yet. We really don't know how this is going to be playing out. There's every chance that Pain can bounce back, and we'll see if FaZe, you know, if they have what it takes to start well on the team. Coming up in a couple of seconds here.
This is it. Yeah, Lee's looking at T-Spawn. Yes. Checked. And the thing is, they did know that previously, even though Elite didn't get a kill or wasn't fragged in the process, when he last pushed up middle with that smoke, he threw a Molotov up onto middle. So they knew that they at least had that kind of aggression in previous rounds. Either way, second half coming at you right now, and it's a complete and utter disaster to kick things off for the side of Pain. They've lost 2 players already, and Big Azera under heavy duress. A bit of team damage tossed in the mix as well, as Big Azera picks up 2 and gives his team a chance.
Really great. Jiggle Peaks coming out there, just throwing bullets around the corner. But he did what he needed to, and they still have a shot at winning this one. Nice done from Snow. He's going to be ready with the dualies on the other side. Brokey gets his head taken clean off. Already out in trouble here, trying to find a kill. It's Davideus to bring him down instead, and Karrigan just, he wanted to play a little bit of a mind game there, but they just weren't taking any of it. Well done on the Pain side. They needed this pistol round a lot, and I think this game is once again wide open. So now it's up to FaZe to show us that they've got what it takes, so they can really sort of double and triple down on this one. So I think Pain are going to have a decent shot right now at bringing it back. And there's also no bomb plant, so that's a big benefit, I think, to the Pain side.
Might be some really slick kills towards the end from Snow and Davideus, but that really is big Azera. Him being able to take 2 players down from the car completely stemmed the bleeding, allowed them to alleviate that pressure and get the rotations through that activated Snow and Davideus to have their impact. So take a bow there, big Azera. You could see all the players trying to look towards him and hype him up and drop those fist bumps. And like you said, at 7-5 half, it's by no means over. And without that aforementioned bomb plant, well, FaZe have indeed a scout, pretty much nothing else. So Pain will be feeling very confident right now, but don't give your lives away, Davideus. Do not repeat that. Down to 41, NQZ, too hot to handle, pulls the plug and gets out of there.
I share your concern in him trying to repeat that. You just hate to see it. Oh, Rain. Okay, through the smoke. Wine. Speed 0 on the other side, though. Fantastic work. Does pick up 3. Rain trying to come through. Once again, the captain of the team. 4 kills for him. He's doing everything. And I'm not surprised. There are so many Kane games where it is Big Lucero who's trying to drag them across the line. Like, he's doing so much for the squad. It's one of the reasons I think it's such a charming story, you know. He's got like a really well-rounded personality. He's got the tactics, he's got the fragging. Big fan.
Yeah, and that was kind of the classic narrative as well with Pain for the longest time. It was like Big Azera is their IGL, their star player. He basically is carrying everyone on his back. And that's kind of changed quite a bit with Davideus, Snow coming in, NQZ as well. But he is the man that we were just discussing, and of course the caster curse is real because Elise just removed his head. We're sorry, Big Azera. We shouldn't hype you up anymore.
It does happen, but maybe a chance for Davideus. Certainly a bit of a surprise to Brokey. He's got napping there, but unfortunately he's so sandwiched in, he couldn't really escape. Still, it's not all bad. 3 versus 3. As NQC managed to find a kill at the same time. Now they've pretty much given up on the B-bomb side right now. Snow is hanging around outside, but FaZe, just as much as Pain were playing it slow, we know that FaZe are another team that they're not afraid of making mid-rounds. In fact, you know, to the extent that you want to have a conversation about, you know, who are the best in-game leaders of all time, you would say Carrigan, one of his enormous strengths is his ability to read the game mid-game. You know, like, it's fine to be able to call, you know, strats out of spawn and have, you know, good execution and all the rest of it, but Carrigan's understanding of what's happening in the middle of a round is, you know, almost unparalleled, if not completely unparalleled.
And I think that's where a lot of IGLs have kind of come undone, and they've been kind of seen through. I think Twist was really struggling with that issue before Shui joined. You know, his mid-round calling on T sides was really lacking. They had no plan B or plan C. Now, speaking of which, still 25 seconds left. Frozen's about to get gift wrapped to free frag. Demo, wrong place at the wrong time. Understandably, trying to get aggressive up on Catwalk and fend off this bomb plant, but his death basically puts an end to this round. Unlikely that Pain will want to go in any further considering their economy. Save, or maybe I spoke too soon because they got 2 kills out of nowhere. Suddenly Elite is in a 1-on-2.
I don't think they were going. I think you're absolutely right. Because I think they just wanted the AK there on Catwalk, but now NQC got a kill as well, and now they're going to feel like, you know what, actually, let's go for it. They've got the kit as well on Snow, but they're holding on, and NQC caught out in the open. It is a Counter-Strike classic, Vince. You've already, I think, made the call to save, and then you get 1 killing, like, maybe we do it after all, and then you lose everything. I understand why they did it. But I am pretty sure we were correct the first time that they probably didn't. It's just because he has the MP9, he's going to go check Catwalk to try and find an AK, which is worth it. But then when he gets the kill and NQC gets a kill, they're like, wait a minute, now we're in a 2 versus 1.
Yeah, it's about weighing up the risk versus reward. And as soon as they're in a 2v1, it's like, okay, the risk is worth it. Oh, yeah. And there is a double side to that one, right? Like, you end up losing, and now your economy is straight up in the toilet. You got a 5-7 for Big Azera, a couple of FAMASs tossed in there, lack of kits and lack of utility. And this is a golden opportunity for FaZe now to really start to extend their lead on the T side. Take nothing for granted. They can still get this one done, but FaZe will know that they are just on the periphery of breaking Pain's backs and really getting a solid lead on this map. This is a pressure cooker round.
Such a close game right now. But yeah, with the money being what it is on Pain's side here, it's so important that they manage to do something with this. FaZe going through all of the basics. I mentioned this in the first half, but you must control catwalk on this T side. Otherwise, there's a whole long list of executes that are no longer possible. Does seem like they are going to just go for it here. They're not really set up for any kind of a mid or B push, but even if you were, catwalk positions were pretty damn important. Smoke goes up from the CT side, trying to slow them down. I actually love this. It's NQC on the other side with the FAMAS, but they're jumping out at all sides. They're just diving out of the smoke in 10 different directions, and I don't think he has any idea where to look. He ends up going down, and they're going to lose that player in CT spawn. Demo, not bad for the spray, but again, they're just all over it. Snow, the last one left in a 1 versus 3, and shouldn't have much of a chance here to do anything. We'll see if he wants to upgrade this, save the FAMAS. I don't think winning the round is an option any longer.
Yeah, exactly. You could see that tantalizing M4A1S just in front of his eyes. He's like, should I go and do it? But no, Snow, greed is not always good. You don't have the Midas touch this time around. You just got to save that FAMAS. And to be fair, the FAMAS now in a pretty good spot. Decent rifle. You can still do a lot of damage with it. Rain needs to tread lightly on that 1 HP, but as you highlighted, spot on. FaZe have that 9-7 lead.
I want to highlight something that I don't understand why all teams don't do this, because I was spending way too much time looking through demos on Dust 2, and I found like 5 or 6 different teams that they have so there's a smoke you can throw when you're running long from the T side, from T spawn. You throw it into the corner by the bigger box in the double doors, and then basically that smoke stops anyone from throwing an incendiary from the CT side, which means if you want to try and take that peak, the incendiary lands and it just gets clipped by the smoke, and then you're just still sat in the doorway waiting for the team. I'm pretty sure if our memory FaZe is one of the teams that know how to throw that smoke, so I'm sort of curious if we're going to see that. And it's a really cool way to catch somebody, because if you're on the CT side, you're throwing in the incendiary, you think that's it, like, you know, I'm going to be able to swing, and they can't really hold that position, and then they're just sort of sat there. So, you know, holding it out now, you guys can watch for it later. I'll pick it up again if we actually see it. For now, they didn't have any incendiaries anyway, Pain. They don't have any money really to work with, just the one from us.
At the risk of being run down by this Tech 9, the Molotov, though, is going to buy them up a little bit of time. A second one also tossed in. So once the first is cleared, it's going to allow Brokey to clear his angles and take full control over the T-side of Catwalk. And considering how much time is still left on the clock, that is a good spot to dethrone early on. Now, they're going to have a good read of the situation, I'm sure with Carrigan, obviously, under helm. He's going to know the economy is weak, so he's going to anticipate some kind of stack coming in more than likely. That's why they're being very tentative and clearing all their angles out on long. The bomb is here. So if Frozen goes down awkwardly, there is a way forward. The flash is good. The damage not quite there. But now, all the information should be gathered. They saw multiple players on long. Good shot from Brokey. Eats a ton of damage in the process, but the 2-player advantage now looking good. Have to mention, though, a couple players are low on FaZe, but that doesn't seem to matter because they continue to litter the floor with bodies and take that 10-7 lead.
It's the small thing sometimes, but Frozen not re-peaking that long fight, even if he has AK versus USPs, and he probably wins it anyway, it's a really small thing, but I just appreciate that. He calls it into, you said it like, he calls it into teammates, they know where everybody is. Brokey, even he manages to control himself for the minute and just kind of falls back, and it's just it's very good fundamental for FaZe. You love to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Just tempering themselves, not getting carried away. Focusing on the task at hand. Sure, Frozen could have wide swung, and maybe on his day he gets 3 or 4 kills, he boosts up his stats, but it's about the team. And the team right now is leading. They're in a pretty commanding spot. Pain Gaming onto one of their last lifelines here on their CT side. It will spiral out of control if they lose this. They'll be back into an eco force by territory. And so they stack 2 players up here in Catwalk, but they've completely given up long.
I think they're going to be pushing this, though. I can't imagine they're just going to want to stack, you know, essentially 3 people. Surely at some point, Demo is going to be throwing a flash around the corner, and they're going to go check for it. The only question is, you know, the timing for that. Yeah, so here we go. Flash being primed. You can't just stay 3 people here. You have to do something with it. And not even really peeking the corner. By the way, he doesn't have another flashbang. So it's a bit awkward at the moment, I've got to be honest. Still, if they find out that there's nobody on Catwalk, it's not bad information. It should give them some room to maybe defend the actual bomb side with, but they're pushing deeper into middle, not knowing that the entire FaZe clan, well, no, more or less, are just around the corner from this one. 35 seconds, and here's the crossing smoke. This is going to be a bit of chaos here for Demo.
may actually feel like he has to push this and try and get kills. He feels desperate. The spray, though, is off. It could have been 2, but instead it's 1. And now Carrigan doubles up. Davideus and NQZ splattered as FaZe successfully pillaged the A site. And Snow can do little but go save his M4. It was looking a bit tentative for a few moments, but one FaZe fully committed, it was only ever going one way.
Honestly, that flashbang that Demo was peeking on was sick, but like you said, if the spray just not really connecting, it's a really frustrating experience because you can see that there are 3 Ts that are jumping, you know, hands in front of their eyes, they just can't see a thing out there, and you just cannot find the kills. But really, more than anything else for Pain, it's kind of tough because I like the fact that they wanted to go aggressive on Catwalk. It's a good idea. Again, they're looking for information. It just sucks that the information they get doesn't do anything for them. All they can say is, there's nobody Catwalk, and it doesn't feel like there's anyone mid, but there could be, right? For all they know, they could be by Xbox. Like, you have no way of checking everything. And by the time you realize it's coming up long, then you kind of concede that space, and then Rain takes it up and shoots you in the back. So, very, very unfortunate. And this is part of the pattern of, in my opinion, the problem that people fall into on the CT side in modern day Dust 2 is that they have no idea where the attack is coming. So you end up in this weird position where you're, rolling the dice a little bit. But Pain did try something here. They're in some trouble though. 11-7, second timeout's being called here. What can they do?
If I'm on Pain right now, I may be calling some kind of a B push because their economy's not great. They're going to have an MP9. They're constantly losing mid and long. So maybe they go for one of those kind of aggressive plays that you highlighted when FaZe went for it in tunnels, but they just push through B or middle. It can often, obviously for Dust 2, it often depends on spawns as well, of course. That's always like the elephant in the room. Do you get good spawns to push through on B quickly? Are you basically unable to really make the most of your weaponry? Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case here, though. In actual fact, they're not even crossing to the B site yet, and it's FaZe that are pushing it early on.
Yeah, they're ready. Although FaZe are making sure to check. Is there anyone in lower dark at the moment? They're going to be up on the catwalk. And Harry crouching his way through. It's a bit awkward right here. Snow, very close to getting the double. The grenade throws it in. Rain will somehow survive. I thought that was going to connect with him. And Big Osira goes down at the same time. Brokey pushing forward, and even he couldn't land that flick. I actually, in my brain, I thought he might just kill NQC here because that would be a Brokey kind of round. But this wasn't one of them, and now we've got 1 minute and 10 seconds. They're going to be trying to go for long, which Demo, is he going to spot it here? He does see just the top of the head, so at least they know that they're retreating. But Rainey says, you know what, I'm going to stick around and wait for it here. Demo's not quite in position. It's going to be Rain instead to get it. I understand what Demo was trying to do, right? He needs to do something. He needs to do something proactive, but now they're a man down, and it's still 45 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of desperation that Davideus was playing on A alone, but he was actually caught out of position momentarily. So he wanted to try and rummage around the back, and it's like, okay, we'll give up long control, but then we'll have the backstab in effect. But there was still 55 seconds left, and the veteran of Rain, you always know he's got a good read of the situation. The second he heard a footstep, it was over. Now, they are low on health. They're going to be walking up. They're not giving this away just yet with the smokes. Now they've been tossed out. Davideus has been flashed out of position as well as he sees them start to spill onto the site. The weakened Rain, the bullet sponge, the meat shield to take the first damage, allowing his team to get the bomb plant down. And now in this 2-on-2, Frozen and Elige, 2 power players standing toe-to-toe with Davideus and NQZ.
Yeah, this battle is going to be everything here. Elige, he's been playing very well. 17 kills. Davideus, though, nice crosshair placement. He was ready for that fight there, and now it's down to just Frozen escaping the AWP. He knows that Davideus is right around the corner. It's awkward. It's a headshot as he runs through the flames. NQC just completely broken down, and now goes for the fight. Taps it away. Davideus is dead and gone, and Frozen with a massive clutch, standing in the Molotov there to get a job done, but it was worth it.
Yeah, and you might say, like, why is he peeking? The bomb wasn't planted for Frozen. He had no kit. He had to go for the peek. He had a full 10-second defuse ahead of him, so he felt compelled to tickle it, try and get Frozen back out to the open just in time. But Frozen playing it to perfection. This was the moment where I started to fear the worst. As soon as they got the opening pick on long in this 2v2, it looked like it may go the way of Pain. Instead, though, it's 5 map points. Fortunate Pain have enough money to invest in a full-on purchase. so many of these rounds have got away from them so quickly. Very passive setup for FaZe. They only have Rain and Tunnels, everybody else on the T side of mid and long respectively.
Yeah, you're right. Slow default here. Excruciating for Pain that have to respect utility. Don't want to be doing that early on. Smoke goes up and they actually just dive right through. I like that play from Kerrigan. Are they going to be checking the pit though? Demo's down. Definitely will. The old-fashioned way, just burn him out of there.
GG.
This is brutal. Not even a round. They've won every single fight across the map. It's down to Davideus. Brokey in the middle, exploding them. And that round is done before Pain even had a word to have said there. Crazy scenes and FaZe to win the opening map here in the series. I must say in a very convincing fashion. That's one of the better Dust 2s I've seen in a long time from almost any team.
Oh, no doubt. And what's going to be even more kind of exciting for FaZe is that pretty much everyone pulled their weight. You know,
次の試合は多分10分後ぐらいか。てかコンプリシティもやってんじゃん。こっちもダスト2な。
Sexy's going to deploy the smoke right after the Molotov to negate the timing of that lurk smoke.
今日はよくダスト2見るの。
And Halzerk's op will get tested eventually.
Hitting the 40-second mark of the round and yet to see a fight, but...
And no one has shifted outside of the B bomb site for complexity. This late in the round, you've heard nothing, no information. There's still two defenders inside the bomb site is going to make this defense much weaker than complexity would like.
Here comes the short play. Smoke's disrupted by the grenade of Halzerk, but not spotting anybody yet. But he'll get that chance. He'll miss. A little bit too much sauce on the flick to the right side.
And Sexy tried to execute the mid-lurk way too early.
And Grim knows he's got an awkward fight here. Yuri,
So
great position in at the
boost
boxes. He was so
待ってんだよね。
patient. He's been there the whole round.
Yeah, and now Halzerk's boxed in. It's a lovely round to be your long
Ah.
player because you're like, oh, Catwalk's having so much success. I don't need to do anything. I just get to wait for the perfect moment. I can just sit here the whole round. JT eventually gets a kill on the op. Not going to get away as K Serrato hunts him down. And Halzerk starts to make his play to evacuate long A. He knows he's being hunted, and there's so many angles you got to worry about. Halzerk is dead.
A little jump at the end there for Yuri to celebrate.
Nice to see
Well,
the
gotta
stuff from
jump
Yuri
through.
too, because Yuri's someone who's been under the crossfires a little bit, and Furia with his performances haven't rebounded to the
すげえ
level we know he's
低くやってんな。
capable of. Starting 8-2 in this map here, including a pretty critical pair of kills and a 2v3 in the round 2. But playing some solid Counter-Strike to open up Dust 2.
And falling looking sharp at the moment.
And
強気やな。
that's kind of why I was so surprised that no one had left the B bomb site, because like normally what can happen is the mobile player shifting about where they feel the attack is going to come is that sort of mid CT spawn player who cheats to the A bomb site, cheats to mid double doors when they feel like the pressure is bouncing
What
back
the
and forth.
fuck?
But with nobody rotating out of the B bomb site, he had no space and nobody to cover his position to shift over towards A. Chose to go for that mid play instead. We'll see if Complexity's defense stays that stagnant throughout this half.
Oh, nice jump up from Cello. And not really expecting too much resistance or complexity due to the weaker weapons here. So 5-1 start for Furia. Up next is Train, and I seen a tweet from Chad Sponge yesterday who was saying that, you know, you've got Complexity as a team who are picking Train and becoming Train merchants. It's so on brand for them, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, well, because they were like the last holdout of Vertigo.
as well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, Vertigo gets replaced. You gotta just pick up whatever is replaced it.
It makes sense too when you think some of the disadvantages they'll have as they try and make the climb back up through the ranks. Having that in your map pool early on can be quite a benefit. We'll see if it continues to deliver for them. 5-1. They've got to worry about Dust 2 now because this scoreline is widening and Furia showing no signs of slowing down. Halzerk's got his op again. That's going to be moving over to the B bomb site. Looks like they want to get aggressive after the Molotov.
Here's Halzer.
おーっと。
Comes away with the opening.
しかも
Skulls is
グレ
down
食ら
on
っ
the
て
ground
ねえ
and
し。
Furia have to play this 4v5, so the response is to swiftly take Cello and put him in the lower
新しい
tunnel.
スキル何買おうかな。
Applies pressure up through short. JT's starting to take a couple of steps back. He's out towards Elevator and 60 moving out of Goose, more towards the site, anticipating
完璧な
a pop
FB やな
through。short. Serrato, oh, he's got one. Not quite the second. It was Cello that was able to grab that one, and Grim had everything to do, and that's just too much to ask of him.
Yeah, especially on that cross from that angle as well. Really hard to connect
そこ降り
spray
る？あ、降りて
transfers
な
and
いよ。
multi up in that situation. Furia do eventually make the jump up the boxes to plant the bomb through the smoke. Nyx goes down, and Halzerk left alone to try and save the AWP. Furia, 4v5 conversion with ease up Catwalk. Nothing to slow them. And Halzerk's going to back away quietly. The only weapon they'll have in the next round.
So much money on Furia, it's ridiculous. Everyone's loaded.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of touched on it, and I know the desk has mentioned it too, but if you're looking at this tournament in a grand scheme of things, we just talked about it in the context of Mongols, but for Furia, top 4 teams aren't here, so that already makes things a little bit easier. And now you've gotten into a situation where the first 2 days of this event have been all upsets. You know, like there's been so many upsets to start this. This bracket is messed up. You're going to be able to find maybe some opposition in the 2-0 game that you didn't expect to be able to find coming into this event. This is one of those situations, Furia, it's like, you have to
俺
capitalize
も
on
絵
it.
守るときあるけどね、
For a
シ
team
ョートから
struggling
の
to
ラッ
find
シュ
good
止めれねえんだよな、俺も。
results, you have a great opportunity here to make a deep run at Bucharest and get some playoff experience.
It could be a great step at this point of the year for
あ
Furia.
れ当てれたらやばいな。
Holzer, oh, patient. Nearly gets his reward on the jumping fall in. Would have been a difficult shot to connect. But when you are the solo AWP and you look around the rest of the weapons here for complexity, there is a pressure on Holzer to deliver something in this round. So he's changing up his position quickly, heading back out to long.
Yeah, which isn't where most of the pressure that Fury has been coming up with early in the rounds has been. Long has mostly been a lurk position. Everything's been coming catwalk, Xbox, double doors, and that part of the map. Holzerk moves out towards long to activate this aggressive push from Grim, gives him a new location behind the double doors. And now you can back away with Grim in that safety.
いい FB。
Grim
完璧すぎやろ。
back in with that 5-7 cello hitting the deck, and it looked like it was going to be smooth sailing here for Furia, but suddenly they're throwing in a little bit of a curveball and have to play 3v4. Not only that, but Kesarado is down on 8 HP.
Yeah, not ideal. I didn't expect that flash play from Grim. That was well set up between him, well orchestrated between him and Holzerk to find a pick out towards long. Yuri goes down. Kesarado, excuse me, as Holzerk, who is getting peaky. And with that one big weapon, the one AWP that Complexity have, you can understand he's feeling like he has to overextend in different situations. This one's punished. No smoke. You'll have to use the cover of the op to traverse to the B bomb site. And it's easy. Nobody's peeking.
いや、見てるのやば。これで B フリーやんけ。
But still a beast, a deadly one at that with 5 seconds left, bomb going down. And Furia manage to dodge all of the threats. And Kesarado, everything on his own. AWP finally brought down before he collects every single kill of the round. JT will retreat to attempt to save the sniper. And we're looking at 7-1 for Furia.
Yeah, good find though from JT at the end of the day. That AWP is going to be useful in the hands of Holzerk. He can pass an M4 to a teammate, and then they'll have a full investment in this next round. But Furia just not showing any signs of weakness, even when they're put in awkward situations, even when it's a 3 versus 5 and Kesarado's dinked up, they still find a way to win the round. Late into the timer, 7-1, 6-round lead. Complexity's follow-up to that spectacular upset yesterday is looking flat to start Dust 2.
Well, Messioso behind them, their coach, their standing coach. He was saying that yesterday was quite easy for him as a coach. He didn't have to call timeout, just let them roll. They were locked in. Today, a little bit of a different story so far.
Yeah, it has been. Okay, Holzerk, look at this aggression. I like it feeling frisky. Missed shot on Kesarado with that jump. Over to the B bomb site we go. Furia called a pocket strategy out of spawn just to break the smoke and get into the B site. Halzerk, another missed opportunity. The opposite of what we saw yesterday, and it's to Complexity's detriment. This round can't even be contested.
This is rough now for Complexity. Furia changed the pace up coming into the round. They've been playing very slow in the first gun rounds, but they just barrage into the B bomb site. As soon as you miss this shot and they're coming at you that fast with that many players, it's over. Wrap it up.
And because you started so many players in middle with that fight, you're late to get to the B bomb site, so you can't even get them stuck in the choke point. You're fighting when they're already strung out wide and already swinging into the site. Makes it much more difficult. Complexity just can't get a grip on this Furia attack. And at this point, I don't think Fury even care to hunt. Like, they have all the money in the world. You could throw most of these rifles away and still be fine, but the save call came so early, it's like, why bother? We're content with the 8th round, and they get to play a little bit of footy.
Yeah. I appreciate you using the right term. So, a boring save situation about to turn into perhaps devastating finish, but 6E's going to hold on. At least that's something. So, not losing absolutely everything here. Furia on fire, 5 rounds in a row. Okay, Serrato looking sharp, falling, kick things off, looking solid.
It's 8 rounds in a row.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I mean, you're right. They have won 5 rounds in a row.
That 5 is part of the 8. Yep, you're right. I just seen the fire and it always just makes me think 5. It's broken my brain.
Yeah, it really has. Latched in there.
Nyx pushing towards tunnels. Oh, Flash connects perfectly onto Skulls, and Nyx doesn't want to get involved in that fight, so he retreats back into the safety of the B-bomb site.
It's not a huge, but a nice piece of information that there's only the one lurker just watching for that push, so you're not concerned about the B-bomb site at this immediate moment. Smoke break, nothing for Halzork to shoot at. So 60's gonna play CT spawn. He'll have the opportunity to shift over to the A-bomb site if needed, if JT calls for him. But Halzork's up in this map, dictating absolutely nothing. In middle, it's blocked off by smoke, no information. He's missed some shots on the B attack in the previous round. Catwalk's been a struggle.
"35 seconds. Slowing it right down again. This time Halzork will connect his shot, but it's the final play for Furia
Oh my
into the
God.
A-bomb site in Cello. Precision to the brain of JT. And Grim is now long,
Yabe.
cowering in his boots because Utility flies towards him. Cello's up next, but Grim still wins that fight. That keeps Complexity in with a shot as they come back in with numbers advantage on this retake attempt. But Chaos Serrato is in savage mode right now, and he is looking for more frags on that ramp push up in towards him. He combines with Fallen, and Chaos Serrato shreds them to pieces. 9-1 as Furia do not stop this streak.
Yeah, this is nice. This is the Furia you want to see. K Serrato putting up numbers, winning you late rounds. Yuri finding some impact to get this team going. Fallen hitting shots with the op. This feels like the team working a little bit more like it's supposed to. Cello doing good work on the space taking. Skulls hasn't even had to get involved yet. That's a nasty sequence from K Serrato, and Complexity still stumped on this CT side, Dust 2.
Another pick from Halzork, right? They got to work with this one. Complexity gonna send 60 up through short. Grenade to sort of sell the illusion that he hasn't pushed into top mid. He's going to try and flank around the backside. Grim's got into Longhouse as that smoke will soon fade away. Yuri's got eyes in the right position.
It's a lot of pushes, though. A lot of players making
look at the
plays.
flank. The flank's coming in. And so 60's been spotted. He moves forward. Yuri also beat Grim out. And so, yeah, none of these pushes have worked out for Complexity. And 60's just kind of lucky to get away.
Yeah, everyone's just like stalemate. Like, fine, dude, scurry back to your little home on the other side of the map. Content with the 4-on-4 we found ourselves in. With Yuri having standing outside of long, the rest of the team meets up with him. You still have Skulls lurking over in upper dark, looking for some kind of B push. Still, once again, a heavy lean for Complexity at the B middle portion of the map. 2 defenders inside the B bomb site, 1 in middle. That leaves 60 alone at Car, and he's got to watch long and Catwalk. Although with his teammate gathering information, he can be somewhat confident at the moment.
Have to peek up over the Car, but Cello once again, it's just cracking open these bomb sites. Another huge shot from him is Halzork. Oh, the timing. At least he gets the scope back in time to dish some damage out, but not enough to stop Skulls. And Halzork's not really even close to a situation where he can find any further impact in the round. A kill from Nyx into the lower tunnels might reopen the conversation, though. They've got time on the fuse.
I mean, look, you just need rounds at this point. You have to go for it. I don't care what the timer is. I don't care what resources you do or don't have. You need more than 1 round in this half, so you have to attempt the 3v3.
And Cello's just waiting for that peek to the short smoke, but they're not getting through it. And Complexity, even though they realize how desperately they need round wins, they don't feel like this is even worth going for.
Yeah, and I don't like the call to save here. Like, you have to have the round. That's it.
So it's now 10-1. You had a pistol round, and that's it. So
10 in a row now for Fury.
10 in a row, Jason. That's 2 5s in a row.
That's 2 5s in a row.
They're double on fire now.
You don't see that too often. People love it.
They do love it.
I don't know. This feels like this half. I mentioned early on. Let's see if like Complexity's defense remains that stagnant. I feel like I've seen so many rounds of 2 players dedicated to B, 1 player dedicated in middle.
Complexity's sort of run of form lasted yesterday.
Some of these like late round situations, it just feels like they're the win condition is a Herculean individual moment.
Yeah.
Like that round is 6E's playing at car and 3 players swing him long, and it's like you don't win that round unless he gives you like 2 kills.
Yeah, it's disappointing for Complexity to come off such a heater yesterday, and this is your first half against Furia. Nyx has got an AUG out for the final round of the first half.
That's why I brought up the stat line from yesterday of guys like 6E and Halzerk, because they were so individually incredible yesterday. That helped massively in that upset against Falcons. You don't have that here today, and it's looking grim, Dinko.
It's not bad.
It's pretty bad.
6E all the way through top middle. So another push. But this one might work out because everybody for Furia is committed around long.
All right, Complexity, you've got him boxed in. You've pushed up middle yet again with 6E. JT's clearing out lower and upper dark. Pretty soon you'll be able to rotate Nyx. You know it's a long play. Oh, but I don't know if they're going to be here at time.
Oh, Cello, another one. Just another huge opener on the bomb site. Grim coming back in to try and trade it out, and he will be effective in doing so, but he's stuck at Gandalf. Now, 6E's starting to make his way forward. For the first time in a long time, there's actually a gap to flank long, but Fallen shuts that almost immediately as soon as it opens. Grim is still fighting, doing everything he can. JT's turn, but he's got nothing.
出た、それ、その友人。
Finish, jumping through the sky.
Stop.
Oh, he's going for it. He's going for it, but he has to wait, and Yuri walks right into him. All right, Nyx. A little bit of style points to round out the half.
A little bit too many attempts at the jumping shot, but that's a clean one to close things out. Nice clutch. Nice 1v2 from Nyx with the AUG. 3 kills total in that final round, and Complexity do find a second, but it doesn't feel nearly enough. They got worked. They win the first round and the last round of that half, and that is it. $14 kills on Queserado, 12 on Cello, 11 on Yuri. Some good calls out of Fallen, but a relatively easy half for them. They didn't get a whole lot of obstacles or a whole lot of resistance. Never had to save. Never even had to be concerned about money. And now they get to switch over to the CT side, and a pistol round win for them sets it up just nicely.
It's gotta feel so rough for 6, who spends his entire round preparing for that long flank. As soon as he walks out, Fallen's there ready to go. Well, second round's nice, but doesn't really change the outcome all that much here for Complexity. They got a huge amount of work to do. At least they've got Train next.
True. We'll see if that can be considered pretty consistently strong in their pool, or if that's going to be another quiet performance. Yuri hears all the attention, drops a defensive smoke. Cello's taken out on Catwalk. So it's literally all on Yuri. Got one and gonna bail out of the fight. So keeps it into a 4-on-4. He's got the cover of Fallen so we can retreat down the ramp.
Looking for back-to-back pistols here. Halzerk waiting at short, sees Queserado hop up on the Xbox. He's not going to drop. Stays in the ledge, looking for a follow-up kill, then falls back into the site. Might be able to
There's a kid on
draw
Yuri.
attention away from 60 inside of the site. Now, yeah, they have extra time to play with thanks to that kit, and Fallen creating some space. Getting closer, follow-up headshot this time from Yuri. Fallen looking to clean out Goose. They know exactly where JT is playing from, and Fallen nails that shot, leaving Halzerk with everything to do. And Furia just cut their way through the Complexity post plant and get the defuse with a kit.
Yeah, man, those are filthy shots. We just kind of touched upon it in the previous series, the Astralis series, where it was kind of Astralis Studio Max. It's like those 5-on-5 retakes are really tough. This one's a 4-on-4 essentially, but those shots from Furia, so precise. Beautiful USP work as they swing out wide and start to get into this bomb site, and none of those Glocks can have any effectiveness. None of them can connect, and that kit on Yuri's the saving grace. So Complexity's now in a buy every single round, everything we can, invest all the money until we go on a win streak. 3 Galils, 2 Deagles. And very light on nades brought into this round 14. Oh, Fallen's dead.
Oh, he is. He actually got a chance there.
I think he just like zoned out, spamming the smoke. He was like, no one's gonna. No one's gonna
This
test
game
this.
has just suddenly become so easy. He's fallen off, but Deserato blows open the CT smoke. Goes for a fight with the M4,
Wow.
and okay, JT's always got a dig in him every now and then. Skull's now his turn, his moment. He's had a quiet
ま
match.
だビ
Everybody
ー
else
ルです
taking
よ。
the spotlight, but Skulls has got a double. Nearly gets a third until body shotted by JT.
They set Yuri up though for a nice attempt at the clutch. The smoke is gonna fade very, very shortly. Gonna drop another one, bounce it deep into the bomb site, give himself some space.
Oh, JT with 3 deeks. Not bad at all. So Complexity needed that round. You lose a pistol. That's really the only thing you have left is following up.
Hey,
11時
Fury
半
is
か。
starting their CT side the same way Complexity did. Pissed around victory into a second round loss.
Yeah, we're about
It's
to watch
all-
10 rounds in a row.
it's
go
all
away from
lining up.
Complexity, Jason.
Here we go. Massive comeback for Complexity. They're winning the major, so they might as well start now.
Lifting it in Austin, man. Wow, what a story that's gonna be. Long taken by Complexity. CT cross smoke coming in. And there's no one really defending on this side of the map for Furious, so Complexity made the right call. Until the rotations come back, Jason. They've come back pretty fast, actually, but
Yeah, but they're not in position to do anything about it. There's a nice find with the
bomb goes down.
Yeah, but this Deagle in this position, that ain't gonna do much.
It's Caserato, though, Jason.
They don't expect it.
Yeah. Needed the quick headshot.
Important tournament for Complexity as well. In the context, I mean, great to see that upset yesterday against Falcons. Had to have been really confidence infusing. It would suck to see them kind of get beat down here by Furia because they're another team that's playing in the MRQ. They're going to be playing in the North American MRQ, which starts on Tuesday, next Tuesday, I want to say. So build up a little bit of confidence going into that event would be something special for Complexity that could really use the major.
Definitely could use that. Shell out. The bullets whizzing past them, steps pittering and pattering towards him, and eventually Grim will collect that kill to close the round. In favor of Complexity, Furia still with not a lot of money here, so we're going to see another round where they have some upgraded pistols. Complexity will grab 5.
And if you're Complexity right now, you don't need to make this more difficult than it has to be. You do that whole, like, that stereotypical one round at a time, but I think more than anything, you play this half and hope you get some guys to wake up. You know, you start this so far back, no matter how good of a comeback it is, chances are Fury's going to win too. So you keep believing, but you're kind of hoping guys like Grim, guys like Sixy, guys like Halzerk find their shot going into Train. Find their game where it's been lacking so far on Dust 2.
Yeah, I mentioned some of the upsets in the tournament so far. I think one of the teams that are most upsetting, and it's probably understandable to an extent, is Team Liquid, right? I think many people expected...
You're taking a shot, right?
No, not a shot.
It feels like a shot. But go on.
It's just sad, man. I just thought it'd be a little better. But, you know, there's, like I said yesterday, it's a Swiss system, so they have another chance to warm up into it, Jason. And then they'll go on that, you know, 0-2 run all the way back, and then they get all the games to practice.
Listen, it's a move made for the major. Things aren't looking great now, but give it a couple months.
And now we're talking about Falcons, yeah?
Yeah. Just lump all the teams into that category. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. It has been... Yeah, disappointing is a good way to put it. I would have liked to have seen that show some better results out of the gate, but...
Yeah, but I think it's understandable.
They have time to show those results.
Mongols is the surprising one.
Yeah, that one is. Yeah, today's loss for them is crazy. I remember I went to HLTV like after one of the first maps of our first series and was like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah. I think they've had their Navi in Singapore.
Sure.
All right, finally money's here for Furia's defense. This is a real sign of whether the comeback's going to be real or not. Lose this, job's pretty much done.
Yeah, you lose this one and then Complexity's starting to make a game out of things. Mid to be smoke. Counter Molotov from Fallen, takes the wide angle, drills the shot. Sixy segregated from his team by the flames, and Halzer can't follow up with anything.
Ooh. JT, not the kind of gap he would have hoped for there on the side of the smoke, so goes for a little tap to see if he can catch Kesrada climbing up on the box, but timing doesn't favor that. And Complexity maintain the man deficit. All 4 players committed up through short. They've got no lurks, either in the tunnels or outside long. So it will be a committed final execution.
And unlike Complexity's defense, Furia has 2 players here at the point of the attack. Most of the places Complexity's defense was back towards car.
God.
Now you've got one in sight, you got one at railing. How are you going to get through this?
And the grenade slowed them and kept them in that one position, which made it so easy for the rifle to not only get one kill, but do damage onto all the players that were slowed in the same spot. So Halzer thrusts himself forward, but Kesrada makes sure he goes no further. And composure here for Furia. They're back to the guns on the CT side and back to dominant winning ways.
Yeah, shut him down. No chance in that hit whatsoever. The kills came out before Complexity even had an opportunity to get close to the bomb site. Skulls and Kesrada working in tandem to shut it down. 12-5 and 7 chances to take this first map if you're Furia. And plenty of things going right for you. Kesrada having a very good game. Yuri having a...
Oh, that's not going right, though.
That's not one of the things going right.
Fallen got them going.
Yeah, Fallen and Yuri to open up this map were spectacular. Really set the tone. Kesrada's picked it up as needed.
All right, B-Pop coming in here for Complexity. Kesrada's on the right side. And here's Skulls with him. Oh, this is going to be a scary duo to try and run into if you're Complexity. For your map survival here. Skulls primes himself. Kesrada ready to go behind the car, but Kesrada gets nothing. Skulls only with 1. That's not enough here for Furia to go for this.
Tons of flashbangs chucked out by Complexity. Good utility usage. Everyone is blind. Yuri's going to go down. There's an AK-47 and CT spawn. JT finds a freebie. So up to 6 we go. No sense or no feel that this comeback is underway just yet, but staying alive for the moment. Just sticking around and being an annoyance at this stage of the game.
You know, it's that classic cliche of playing yourself into the game, Jason. You know, playing yourself into the series, rather. You got Train coming up next. Exit with a few rounds under your belt. Warm up a little.
Yeah, don't get wiped out. Go into the break and be like, if we play Train like we played the last 5 rounds of Dust 2, all good. We do it like the first 12, not good.
Get sort of like a semblance of things going right. Well, they have put the money in a difficult spot for Furia where you don't want to see them fully buy here. Half investment around the save weapon and then have a full buy in the next is the likely call here for Furia.
I think that'd be the smart decision based off money and based off how many rounds you have to play with. You don't need to force the issue now. Maximize your rifle rounds down the stretch.
Bang.
So feel free to make the hard decision and save and give one up potentially.
Another shot through the doors.
See,
not bad, Halzer.
He's warming up.
This one, not to death, though, as Furia maintain all 5 players.
Cellos and lower. I don't think they spotted this. I don't think they have any indication.
Well, they knew it was a possibility at least, and that Molotov will confirm it. 1 tick of damage onto Cello, but it doesn't matter if he still just peeks out and gets a kill, and he gets away. Oh, that's the worst case scenario for Complexity.
Yeah, fine work from Cello. Skulls is brought very, very low with one of the M4s, though. Might want to pass it off. Nobody else has armor. M4 is going to be at the B bomb site. Cello comes right back in towards lower, sees if he can get tricky. Confuse JT, and he might have just done it.
Oh my god. They're right beside each other. Hello, Cello. He's able to get a pick onto JT, looking the wrong direction. That's going to be so frustrating for Complexity, who now fall to just 3 players to try and continue their performance here on Dust 2.
If Yuri can just stay alive and actually maybe just harass, maybe get like a cheeky little dink, maybe jump up and grab a little attention.
Whoop, there's a little attention. There's a little more. Kill comes in on the P250, and Furia look like they're about to close this out in this fashion. They were waiting to get a buy back in the next, but it doesn't really matter. Grim and Halzerk to try and close out a 2v5. Cello's killed his own teammate and fallen, but he's followed up and made up for it. Here's Halzerk's turn. To the Glock he'll go, but just too many targets, too many players,
GG.
and too much work to do for Complexity. Furia come through with a 13-6 victory on Dust 2. They shut out Complexity from a dominant first half.
This map has told me that I need to start trying jump shots more. With that, we'll send it off to the desk.
と思ったら終わってなかった。
Oh, I apologize. I threw that. I thought he said the desk was ready. The desk was not ready. That was on me.
You were just you were jumping the gun. You were trying jumping already, Jace.
I'd like to apologize production. I'd like to apologize to Sam,
the game,
to Yanko, to Prof.
The game's still going.
Oh, the game is still going?
Yeah.
They didn't win?
The game's still going. Yeah, we definitely jumped the gun on that one, Jason.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, well, we all thought it was over, but it's not.
Everything,
and everybody's having a laugh.
Everything felt very over.
Everything felt done.
Everything felt completed. It feels like
but there is that small element of time,
The
Jason.
story had wrapped up nicely. All the heroes had their closing moments.
All right, we're going to try this one more time. Take 2. Let's see how it all went down. So time was the problem then, I guess. So gets onto it. Yeah. All right. Well, no kit. So... felt like there was enough time.
Yeah, but everyone's sticking around.
He came off it, bro!
Oh.
No! That's worse than Carrigan. At least Carrigan was understandable, but bro, what have you done?
みんな飛んだんかい。
Complexity are still in it.
Kusta, is that you?
What the fuck?
He's back. Why have you done that? Cello thought it was... Dude.
What the fuck?
All right, here we go.
I'm confused. Did someone like high-five him and take his hand off? Did he like scratch his nose? What are we working with here? I need some information.
That's so good. That should have been it. All right, I'm glad that we aren't crazy. Like that should have been it. You know, there wasn't like we missed the time, Jason. Okay.
Oh my.
Oh,
lordy, lordy, lordy. Okay, snap back into focus, boys. We've really given that one away.
Complexity. The golden ticket.
まあわからんよな、ま
If
だ
they
な。
come back, Jason, this has got to be one of the most legendary games.
Look at Sixie's position.
Oh, that's what we like to see from Sixie.
Yeah, I actually thought Fallen was going to get that. He tracked down pretty nicely, but apparently just off the mark. Spam coming through that smoke. K Serrato feeling really uncomfortable. He's worrying about Sixie coming up the ramp.
50 seconds on the clock. Caserado ready for the walk-in towards him. It's a big pick from Caserado. Second even better. Might be done now. We need a little bit more action. We need a few more moments of server time. But Caserado's had enough. No need for a defuse if he can just take every single kill, but 60 doing what he can.
Oh,
2 kills in the round so far. Yuri in the pit. Nyx trying to put pressure on him. And
Oh.
Nyx and 60 combining together, so it must be Caserado. It must be the ace clutch to close this out.
He has the bomb, though.
投げ物
They
が
got
な
to
い。
jump up for the bomb. And they only have
15
15 seconds. Oh!
Misses the shot. Caserado down, though, by 60 with a 4K. He does everything. He stays into a CT, gets the opener and the closer. Nyx finds the important frag towards pit.
Yeah, it's actually a super awesome round from 60. Cool to see that level of impact and that level of play creation out of him, lurking through the mid to B smoke into CT. 12-8. This combined with the weird diffuse situation, Furia's now out of money. And I don't want it to be so, but this map is just going to get harder for Furia.
It's so wild.
What a crazy turn of events.
I don't even know why. Like, yesterday, the carrigan one, I can understand because he could have jumped up on the boxes, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
That one, everyone's dead, dude. You're just hold just hold the defuse key.
When I'm defusing for 10 seconds, I press the E key so hard.
I literally is the only focus in the world, right? When you're defusing, you don't want to let everybody down.
I put so much effort into keeping that key pressed down.
Maybe you hit it so hard, Jason.
It just
You broke it.
deactivated.
Yeah. Skulls. It's gonna be a good headshot, but obviously not expected to get much more than that. But even then, that theory, even as wild as it is, isn't realistic because you can see he like flicks up off of the TV. It's a mouse movement thing. Cello and Yuri are back in this though.
Oh, don't do this.
Is this how you're gonna close it? Is
Don't
this
do-
how
Wait,
it
Jimmy
ends?
ni ya be
He's
zo
alone in
kore.
the side hall, Zerk. He's alone in
Oh.
the side. Oh, good shot though. Good shot though. And his teammates coming in. B-Hall's behind him. And now they know it's all on K Serrato.
Oh, it could close right now. Caserado against JT, and that's the way it's done. Furia
Why not?
finally get the W. The headsets can come off, and I'm just interested what the panel think of that one.
The panel is waiting to make 100.
いやいやいやいやいやいや。疲れたな。あ、疲れた。なんもやってないね、疲れた。2時間半やってんだ。 映すもんがねえや。試合見るからシャニソン見るになるか。出た。これ限定入ってるんですかね。お、サポート久々。ちょうど日付が変わったのでもう一回引けます。まあそう簡単に出ねえか。 いっぱいあるねこれ。今引くか。限定入り出るとは書いてない。
お上がりなさい。特別。
お、弾ける。
お上がりなさい。特別なピザトースト。
これはこれ引くやろ。ああ、もう持ってるんすよ。くそ。
包帯。
ちょっと待って。はあ。はあ。なるほど。
行ってきます。あ、プロデューサーさん。
なんで？わあ、これは
あ、プロデューサーさん。アイドルたちに会いに来てくれたんですね。マキマキ。
おもろそう。これは時間あるときかな。
マキマキ。
時間あるとき、今やないかーい。
行ってきます。プロデュ行ってきます。プロデューサーさん。
なんだっけ。
マキマキ。包帯、いつもよりうまく巻けたかも。トントン。 きますプロデューサーさん。マキマキ
さてと。疲れたっす。終わるか。やることねえし、終わるか。ということで終わるか。特にないからな。ではお疲れさんです。また。